If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell icon to get the latest updates.
Hello everyone, good morning.
Hi Manu, buen día. Good morning.
Vector, good morning. Yeah, so everyone, have you tried to create a trial account? Did you face any issue, or is it okay?
Hi Manu, like I tried to create it, but I just faced some problem after the session. I will just show you like what exactly I'm getting there.
Yeah, because see, most probably today will be end of more of our theoretical discussion. Okay. But from tomorrow onwards, we will be going to have a theoretical plus live show
Practical.
and practical. Yeah. So today we will be covering like another phase of Fiori apps, different types and architecture discussion, more of that, and some examples. That's it. So I mean, but tomorrow we will be starting with UI5 and Fiori development journey. Okay, that for that we all have this BTP bash activity account sub account
Okay. So
access.
today I will do it anyhow.
Yeah. So no, it's not only for one of you, it's for everyone. I mean, if anyone has missed, then basically see, if you're learning something, you need practice. So what we are discussing right now is okay, it's like some kind of overview. Theoretically you are trying to understand, making you okay what is all about, but when you are trying to develop something, you are going to interact with that development. So that development environment readiness is very important, and this is where Nitin is. I mean, we have one of the vendor who provide you the access based on your trial account P user ID and Gmail account. Probably you can use maybe it's up to you. You can use your Gmail account, or you can use your official account also. Email ID, that's also fine, but generally use Gmail if you have a trial account, because that will be your personal. Okay, so it's for everyone. So please, I have anyway shared you the link. If it's not, then let's today in the last half an hour session, let's try. Any one of you share the screen and show me if any how you are trying. If any issue, then we'll see that. Okay. Okay, so let's start our session today. So today our mainly focus is on one of the another session, which topic we have is more of types of Fiori apps. If you remember, yesterday we had given a little bit overview on that. So today we will go into deep dive. Okay, so what is all about these types of Fiori apps, right? Because Fiori apps, we discussed, we have a different variations, right? Means it talks about different business domain, right? So it has to be some segregation, right? The type of application it's supposed to be segregated. So for that perspective, we have one topic today which we'll be going to discuss more on in details, especially in this. If I talk about in terms of architecture, how it flows, and more of like basic understanding of your types of these application. All right. During the discussion, any doubt, you are welcome to ask. Every 2-3 slides, generally I take a pause and you can ask the question. All right. Okay, so let me share my screen and we'll start that. Okay, hope you all can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so today's session we are going to more discuss on this types of Fiori apps. Okay, so if these are our agenda, which will be topping whatever topics we have listed here, we will be trying to go in details more of that. And yes, it is again going to be today is more of theoretical understanding of how this application works in terms of configuration in the what you need in the in your backend system, front end system, and how the architecture actually looks like. Okay, so because this understanding will also help you when you are doing any interaction, any discussion, and any development, right? So these information is very much required in terms of architecture perspective. So see, Fiori apps is actually of three types. Okay, it has been categorized based on the business interaction, you can say that, or whatever the module what you have yesterday seen, right? Like we have a different module, manufacturing, HR, and all these sales, every department it has it, right? So it covers various application. So these application has been categorized into three types. Okay, one is transactional, another one is fact sheet, and the last one is analytical apps. Okay, by the name itself you can see that the name transactional stand for something a user is performing, right? Doing some transactional activity. Okay, what is transactional activity means? This transactional activity, like you might have seen one application like where you have a time sheet, right? Where you might have locked the time sheet for the day or the week, and it goes to your manager for approval, right? Or rejection or something, a leave request, you are putting it there, right? So these all are transactional type where you perform something, right? You perform active, you can say that you are approving it, you are rejecting it, you creating something, right? You are updating something, you are deleting something. So you are doing some transaction on a business object, right? Some object which is in your S4 HANA system or any backend system, whatever transaction table you have maintained, or any services which is communicating to your application. So basically you are doing some action, you are performing some action on that, right? That is called transactional apps actually. So this is the one of the most used application in SAP domain, because the larger count of application what you will see is more of transactional app. In fact, in daily life also, like being any department you belongs, we all have certain activity to perform, right? We don't just go and see the application. So based on that, we discussed, right? Few of the user met, let's say having a my leave request is one of the application, right? In my leave request you can see a manager can have the button to approve and reject, but for the same application, when you as an employee, if you're going to apply a leave, you will only have a apply leave, right? You don't have option to approve or reject, right? So based on roles is actually categorized, what you can perform, what you cannot perform, what you can see and what you cannot see. So in the SAP domain, Fiori apps, transactional apps, you will be seeing very often. Okay, so it has a very simplified view interaction, right, with existing business process and solution. Few of the example yesterday which I have shown you, it was more of a transactional app. Okay, one of the best part of transactional app is that it runs on your any database. Like it's not necessary that it's going to have a S4HANA database, or it could be anything. Like you can have some kind of ECC database. Okay, somebody, if they're having a Java based application, right, they want to build on top of any JDK, right? So there they can also use as a database. So it's not restricted. Basically it's very much, that's why this is very famous and very used in SAP domain, as well as in and outside the SAP also. Remember yesterday we talked about, like we have SAP UI5 as a framework to develop a Fiori apps, but there's another open UI5 also available in the market, which they can use it out of the SAP scope to form a Fiori application. So largely these open UI5, what they actually develop the application, they are actually a transactional application, right? Because fact sheet and what we talk about analytical apps is completely bound to SAP domain. It needs S4HANA, it's need HANA database, but transactional app is not restricted. That's why it's very famous and very widely used across SAP and non-SAP domain as well, right? Okay, so this is some kind of I mean ABAP transaction. Say you have have you anybody seen the SAP GUI transactional apps, by the way? Like you might have some T code you are executing, you will see seeing some kind of information, right? That comes as a SAP GUI a screen. What is SAP GUI? Like in SAP, if you try to to execute some T code, right? So that T code which give you some result, right? So that result is actually going to work now as a web application. So SAP GUI has been, transformed in terms of SAP Fiori, which has been after Fiori 2.0 version, they have made it available as a Fiori app. So SAP GUI transaction actually has been become, I could say, standardized SAP officially verified part of SAP Fiori. They are not SAP Fiori app, but they are part of SAP Fiori Launchpad, and they consider it as a, you can say it as a SAP GUI based Fiori apps. Okay, but yes, remember this is not a actual Fiori app. Okay, so okay, I will give you some examples. But for example, you see this is this is the GUI app transaction. Okay, so how it looks like, if you see here as a screenshot, right? So let's say if I will run this, I can show you. For example, if I have 1 minute, let me. Okay, let's say I have VA02. Okay, so if you see this, so this is the GUI app. Okay, whatever this GUI app you see, this is what you have to do. You have to come inside the SAP system. You have to, if you have that access. Okay, VA02 again, it comes under the business user activity of T code. So not every developer going to have this T code access. Okay, so that every business user has to log in and come back and execute this, right? Transactions kind of thing. They have to perform some some data, and all this performance they can do and perform their activity. So I'm not going to perform any activity, but I'm saying you this app now can be available as a part of Fiori apps. Okay, so this how this Fiori app will work. You see, change sales document, right? So what I remember how we used to do that. So let's say I am searching application called VA02. Okay, so if you see here, this is called VA02. You have to find here somewhere. It will, yeah, here it is. So in this VA02, you see the type is SAP GUI. Okay, and they have also mentioned HANA DB exclusive, right? So be it SAP GUI app basically, but it is has been made it available to be part of Fiori Launchpad. Okay, so if you have remember, I have gone walk you through yesterday about how the technical information like configuration, installation, other than that, what you can see here, the biggest difference you will find out. If anybody can tell me, if you remember anything from yesterday's session, what difference can you point out here? Can you tell me, anybody, what difference here, what information is missing here, and how you can actually identify? Let's say you are not seeing this, right? But how you can actually identify that this is not an actual Fiori apps but a GUI app? Any differentiation?
Yeah, the fields that you show.
Mm-hmm.
First, you don't see the real information. You only see the technical information. You don't see a customer or values of items or prices or units or so on. You don't see the information of the who's the sailor or the company code or information, gross information. Yeah, you only see the files, the fields of they are embedded in the T code.
Okay,
Yeah.
so technical information basically you are talking about, right? So basically
Yeah.
technical information. Yeah, you are close enough, but not exactly. Okay, so see, this is SAP GUI. What is the biggest differentiation with Fiori apps? How you can identify is that you see none of the information is mentioning about OData services. You see, there is no OData service mentioned here. And you can see also there is no SAP UI5 component information available. Another part you can see in the bottom, there is no extensibility information available, right? It means what? So this is because it's a transaction, it's a VA02. I mean, it's a transaction that you execute in S4 system is actually going to be available as a web application on the cloud. That's it. It's not a, like, it doesn't have UI code in the background. It doesn't have any auditor service to communicate, right? So it doesn't have any extensibility. You cannot extend, you cannot enhance it. So for example, let's say if I'm opening manage sales order, right? This is a type of transactional SAP Fiori elements application. Now see, if you see under this, what information you will find out here. So under this information, you can find here what is the backend component, right? See what is SAP UI5 component. See here what is the OData service are involved into this, right? So these are major technical information which has to be available for your any SAP Fiori, SAP UI5 application. But if it's a GUI app, then these two information will not be available. You will only having a semantic object. See, semantic, remember semantic object we talked about yesterday. Semantic object is the one of the unique business parameter which helps you uniquely identify a particular application for navigation. Okay, so if that's the one of the reason why this GUI app is actually going to work on Launchpad is one of the major reason is because of this semantic object. So this semantic object is actually making it to perform, right, these action. Remember I told also action, because our semantic object has to have some action. It can be changed, it can be edit, it can be display. Whatever you have defined the configuration, accordingly your app will behave. If I made it change display, it will be only in display purpose. You should not be able to make any changes. So semantic object is the one of the key parameter which is making even SAP GUI app, which is not even SAP UI5, not even a Fiori apps, but still able to run on the launchpad configuration because of this one of the major reason of being semantic object support, which has been added back in after Fiori 2.0 version, and it's actually becoming a part of official part of SAP Fiori launchpad group. Okay, so I hope you all understood what's the major difference is between GUI application and Fiori app application, right? So we okay, so we will of course we will be doing this configuration, how you can configure a GUI app transaction, right, in launchpad, right, during our show and tell activity. We will be showing you. So right now we are just showing you exactly how you can differentiate, how it's different from the Fiori UI5 and other stuff. Okay, now if you see that part, another part which you see here, this is an example of SAP UI5 and Fiori. Before that, I mean, let me show you uh, one more thing which we have. Okay, so let me first talk about the architecture, then we'll move to the other part. 1 minute. Okay, so if you see this transactional app, right, why I'm okay talking this part first is because Fiori UI, because GUI doesn't need this architecture flow, but Fiori and UI5 have this architecture flow. So if you see closely, okay, hope everyone is able to see that. So this is your client interaction, right? This is something we call it as a user interaction interface. This is the devices where the Fiori apps or UI5 apps is going to run, right? Then let's say you have opened managed sales order, and when you have opened the application, let's say it's making a service call, right? It may you may have to click on a filter, or there's a possibility that yesterday I've shown you, right? If you set some parameter, default parameter, it will fetch some record directly. You don't have to actually go and filter, right? It may fetch you some data. It means what? It means it is actually making a background call to the OData by using OData service to the server, right? So this call is nothing but a HTTPS call, which is OData call. If you remember, there is one another layer. Okay, this R you see here in the circle part. This is another layer which is called web dispatcher. Okay, so web dispatcher, it helps you to uniquely identify what request is coming and where it has to redirect. Okay, so that dispatcher will generally use in FactSet and analytical apps. It's not much required in transaction, but yeah. So whenever the request comes from your device, so this HTMS, sorry, whatever the call we are getting it, which is a type of HTTPS via OData service, this goes to whatever you see here is like our gateway server, right? SAP network gateway, which is now your ABAP, also known as ABAP front-end server, which is actually having all the UI5 component or Fiori UI component or Launchpad component. So everything which we can say, we do configuration of Launchpad, right? We do what I will say, deployment of our application, right? We deploy our apps into the ABAP environments. All this goes to our SAP, this one net to your gateway infrastructure, right? This particular part here. Now this remember before that also I will put you one more point. Do you remember any one of you what are the types of SAP system we have, right? We have two types, right? Can you name them? What are the types of SAP system we work? Even ABAP also you might be knowing it, right? Any one of you?
Is it on cloud and on premise?
On premise and on cloud, yeah.
Okay, not in that sense. I'm talking about segregating in terms of development. Have you heard hub system and embedded system? Yeah,
Central hub and embedded system.
Yeah. Exactly. What's the difference between them? Anybody?
Yes. So like what happens in central hub is that your ECC data models or ECC particular ECC system will be in a separate space, and your Fiori backend logic or OData service will be in a separate system. That will be a central hub one, and the embedded one is like all your logic plus your data will be in the same system.
Very good. Good. I think this is actually right answer. So fine. So here in Fiori UI5, I mean development also, this is very important part role is getting played. Okay. So what architecture? But right now you see it's actually a central hub deployment architecture. Okay. So as he said, like central hub deployment, what you are going to have is your ABAP front end server. If you see little bit pink, right? This infrastructure is actually a separate your server. And this is your backend server, which is your ABAP coding, right? Trusted RFC, whatever you maintain, like various ERP you maintain, that is your backend, complete backend system, like ERP, SRM, CRM. So this is your backend, ABAP backend server, and this is your ABAP front-end server. So this is the structure of central hub deployment. What is the biggest advantage, here is that if you are making any changes in your UI layer, okay, you are doing any enhancement, configuration changes, deployment activity, it's not going to affect anything in the backend layer. Similar way, if you are enhancing your backend logic, you are making some RFC changes, okay, for function module or anything you are making in change in your ERP system, any upgrades happen, it's actually not going to directly impact your front end server, right? So they are independent piece of development which will help you in maintaining the life cycle of application which is up and running in your different server here. Okay, like this is the one, this is the another one. They are interconnected to each other via some trusted RFC, and like this is the one database which I talk about. Like it could be any database table, you can refer HANA or any DB. But that being this, if you remove this, so this is the two different structure which actually going to use in your central hub deployment. What happened in embedded system, like this you see this will be not be there. So everything what you do in a one SAP system, like your gateway is also there, and your ERP backend, CRM, SRM, every component also available in the same embedded system. So it means what? If you're making any changes in your any of the layer, it's immediately going to affect one of the each other. Okay, so that is something which is going to affect your, basically it's not suitable much to use embedded deployment activity. Rather it has been endorsed to use central hub deployment because of the reason, the major I would say, because you have an independency to control those two components. In embedded deployment you actually have to work parallelly, or basically you can say that everything has to be merge into each other so that it may impact any changes has been done. Let's say some upgrade has happened, right? Let's say UI component doesn't have any upgrade, right, upgradation, but let's say the backend components of some version has been changed, right? So immediately it will affect your Fiori application also, which because if it not support that version, right, for example. But If you have separate, then definitely you can manage your version controlling, and you can, of course, you can make required fixes and do that. So that is one thing which I have added here. Okay, so this is your typical architecture of transactional Fiori app. Okay, now let's go back to our example once again here. So we remember, see, you see here one example we have given you for SAP GUI. Next example is of type SAP UI5 app. Okay, and another example we have SAP Fiori elements. Okay, yesterday we discussed about these two types also, right? What is SAP Fiori elements app and what is SAP Fiori only? And I have shown you, I think, both type of example in demo kit. Any one of you can recall you what exactly difference you see when I say SAP UI5, which is nothing but a Fiori app also, no doubt. And but when I say SAP Fiori elements, what difference you can tell me based on your study, what we have discussed on these two types? Anybody remember? No one?
Manu, SAP UI5 app are like freestyle apps, but Fiori elements we can have list report and those kind of apps.
Good. Anyone else? Okay, I think that was right answer. Okay, good. Thank you. Yeah, so what I was talking here is the main difference what you see here in SAP UI5 and Fiori. If you remember yesterday when I was showing you one of the example in our SDK, right? Under demo apps, if you have seen here, one of the application which I have opened was, I think, maybe some browse order something. Okay, yeah, you can take this also, not a problem. And then I was trying to open this. Okay, I hope today, okay, today also it down, no problem. Okay, so if you see this application, what you see the pattern, right? This is of course a Fiori application. Okay, no doubt. But you see this is more of a, doesn't bond to any Fiori elements, having a separate design pattern. In UI5 is more of this, you can say, as a free style or custom develop application. But yeah, again, in Fiori free style and custom application development also, you have some template which we call it as a if you remember earlier, it used to call as a master detail page. Okay, nowadays it has been called a different, this is called flexible layout, where you can expand and left side and right side, all this information you can change. Okay, so but this is not as per the S/4HANA CDS design, right? So if you have seen my example which I have shown you yesterday, okay, yesterday example, for example, I have shown you for a smart table, right? So in that example, what you see, the structure of the layout and everything, it was more of about your Fiori elements. So that Fiori elements, if you see, the layouts are predefined, it's not going to change. You see, this is the pure layout what you see here in this scenario. Whenever you see, you can select the filter additionally or anything, that these features what you see here, this is only available for Fiori elements. So Fiori elements always comes with this header section which is going to have a filter bar, and in the bottom you will be going to have a table and filter has to be there. What else it will be there always? The variant management will always be there. Okay, this is by default. This you may add it, or I mean, this is also, you can say, by default, but it will not come for this will come always, but here you have to enable. But this is the feature, I would say, this will be present. Then you have view setting dialog, then you have export. So these features comes as a part of SAP Fiori elements standard design or development, right? If anybody has any question, I getting heard some voice. Okay, right. So this is the Fiori elements, right? This is the Fiori elements design layout basically. But when you see here, this application is not aligned with that design, right? So this is also a Fiori apps, but this is a SAP UI5 Fiori app, because you remember every Fiori apps has been built on top of SAP UI5. Remember that is your framework. Okay, now When you are talking about Fiori elements, the Fiori element having predefined, template, or I will say the layout structure design, which every application, if you are building with SAP Fiori elements design pattern, it will look alike, always same. This table type may change into M table. Okay, we will talk about what is M table, is grid table, tree table. We have different types of table. What you see right now, it's a grid table. Okay, also call it UI table. Okay, so this may change into M table. M table stands for is a responsive table, which you having a different feature. Okay, so maybe this table type might be changed, but if you talk about this layout, it will remain the same. The filter will be there, the variant management, the view setting dialog, the export thing, this will be always there. So this is a standard pattern of your Fiori elements. Okay, but in case of normal SAP UI5 Fiori, you may not have that pattern. Rather, it can be a free style, or rather, sometimes if you remember one more apps which I have run yesterday, maybe that was some kind of employee directory walkthrough. Okay, manage products or something. Yeah, remember this one, right? This one also I gave you example. So this is another Fiori apps only, but it is purely SAP UI5, basically a free style app, I could say, application which has been built with the different controls, right? So this is again a table, but doesn't have filter, right? Doesn't have variant management, right? So if variant management can comes default as part of Fiori elements, view setting dialog button comes as a default as a part of your Fiori elements, but not for SAP UI5 free style application. It doesn't come, this thing, it doesn't come. If you are doing it, then you have to do by custom wise, and custom wise development is very, I would say, for those feature which we talk about here, it's not easy. Okay, that will make you a lot of your life very hard. So it's not advisable to make this thing, make, do not basically customize your development with to bring this feature, because it's not easy. Because why I'm not saying easy, because it needs certain things to be done in your backend as well, right? It's this directly communicate to your CDS, S4 HANA CDS annotation structure, metadata, whatever definition you have done. It's not like you can directly go and start building the same feature in your SAP UI5 application. It is possible with local annotation, but it's not advisable because it would not be stable enough to get aligned with your standard feature. Okay, so that's the reason these are called as SAP UI5 based freestyle Fiori apps. This is called as a Fiori elements, which is has came after your S4 HANA, probably after Fiori 2.0, which they have launched with the smart controls. And every component what you see in Fiori, one of the major difference, if somebody will ask you what we have apart from the layout design, which is a standard, you can talk about like filter bar and table and variant management and all these features. One of the major difference also is there, the controls type. Every control types what you see here is of a smart. It start with a smart word. Okay, so a smart, all the smart table having a smart table, this is called a smart filter bar. Okay, you will have a smart field, a smart form. Okay, so a smart layout, dynamic layout, right? So these all comes under a smart controls, right? But in your you can use it, you can use here smart controls, nobody will stop you. But by default, Fiori elements will always have a smart control. Without a smart control, you cannot build Fiori elements, right? But SAP UI5 Fiori app, you can develop with or without Fiori smart controls. So these are the differences. It's good if you can remember. I mean, it will be helpful for you making you understand when you are going development phase, right? Okay, so see, one of the example for SAP UI5, right? So what I told you, for example, already, right? What transactional based on SAP UI5, what does it mean, right? So SAP Fiori transactional apps represent your simplified views. Okay, and it represents simplified basically interaction with the existing business process, right? So basically this runs on, this is the free style type of Fiori application which runs on any database. For example, if it's my quotation, right? So I can go here and search my quotation. Okay, so right now these are what you see here. It's more of your existing SAP application that we have here. My quotation. sales quotation, let's say. If you see here, this is your okay, transaction, right? Okay, let me check. Maybe we'll see some ID also available, F0025, I guess, F0025. So you can search any application with the name. Probably name is not the best way, but still we can find out. But ID is the best way. You can actually find out if it's available. Let me see what are the filter we have. S4 HANA, apps for S4 HANA, then all apps, and then you can try to find here F0025. Okay, maybe my quotation. Okay, could be this. Okay, my approved sales quotation, something, yeah, like that. Okay, something sales quotation, that name might have you change here. Now, if you see this here, you can see transactional Fiori apps, right? So this is your SAP Fiori apps. Okay, this is not your SAP Fiori elements. Remember, see, if I go here, sales quotation as for HANA, it is mentioned what? SAP Fiori elements, right? Because their look and feel will be based on your Fiori elements type. If you can see everywhere in the information, product and feature, implementation information, all that time. But those application which comes as a only Fiori, they will not mention that. It will just a Fiori application, means UI5 application. Okay, so those application information, you see the how it look and feel will be something like that. So it's going to be more of like let's say if I'm saying here sales management activity or any, this is more details that you can find out the details of how it's going to be useful, what are the information is needed. So these all are more of inside business insight. Okay, how it's going to be available. There's app documentation that you can find the more information. This is your SAP help portal, which you can always find out all relevant information which is available for a particular Fiori apps, right? It could be your my inbox. Let's say this is my application. What are the implementations you can do? How you can do the configuration, right? How you can do extensibility. So every information you can be able to find out here. So I mean, this is the reference there for your all standard Fiori apps. It is not only why I am showing you here is that because when you are going to do any development, there is a possibility that you can directly do a scratch or Fiori elements based development, or you have to activate or reuse the existing application and then customize it. So this is the place where you are coming here and you are finding out here. Okay, so this is one of the example of SAP UI5 of app, which is one of the example like my sales quotation or quotation, my quotation example, which is showing you here example like it's a type of Fiori app. If you see the small screenshot here, it is like a master, like left side you see this similar to this pattern here. If you remember, you see browse product, right? The left side we have a list of my orders and I can see right side my details of it, right? So similar to that, we have this left side whatever sales my quotation available and the details over it, but it doesn't have the structure of which we discussed about, right? This Fiori element. That's why it's a type of transactional app but of Fiori SAP UI5 type. Now next we have is an example of SAP Fiori elements, which is managed sales order, which is of type SAP Fiori elements. If you remember last time, I think yesterday itself we discussed this part, manage sales order, right? Manage sales order. Maybe it's okay. So you can find out here manage sales order, manage sales quotation, or in case of if you see any ID, you have here display 1 minute, manage billing documents, document. Okay, manage sales order. Okay, so yeah, So here you see version 2, remember? So now you always have a version also available. Like you can select the version, like which version of S4HANA system you have. It could be 19, 20, 21, all these things. And then you will be able to see what all is going to be look like. If you click on that, right? So you will see this look and feel, right? You remember this is the Fiori elements structure, what you can see here in that scenario. Like see, it's a view setting dialog. It has an export feature, right? It has the table and whatever the additional, of course, that column you can add as part of your CDS enhancement or UI5 enhancement. You can do that. You on the top, what you see, don't be confused. It's also a type of filter, right? When you're going to interact with an article structure, you always have a filter in data. Like it could be some visualization of it could be a chart format, it could be some detailed information, or you can. So this is something called, you see in the top, which is a header section. Okay, we will talk about what layout design it is. It is a type of one layout design which is called a dynamic page layout. Okay, which comes under your header part, which generally keep your filter information or any header information which is required to available, right? So this is one of the example which we talk about. So whenever we talk about Fiori UI5 and Fiori elements, why I'm showing you keep here so that you can visualize it. When I say Fiori elements, what structure, layout may come. When I say Fiori UI5 only, what does it mean that? Okay, so this is the first for you example here. Okay, so now whatever you see example SAP GUI, which I have already shown you in the top itself, like it's going to be a transactional based kind of any application which we are running as a T code in your SAP system, which is nothing but this one which I have shown you, right? One example I have shown you. So it's like a any GUI transaction, whatever you are running in your SAP system, that you can definitely have a use of as a Fiori apps in your SAP GUI Fiori application. In terms of Fiori, I really actually we should not say it as a SAP Fiori. Rather, you can say it SAP GUI best Fiori apps on Launchpad. Okay, it's doesn't mean that it has been developed on your SAP UI5 framework. Okay, so it just support being a Fiori apps on the Launchpad, but nevertheless, it's always SAP GUI, not a Fiori app. Okay, there's one more type of app which I will just highlight. You ABAP folks, you might be knowing this, which is called is Web Dynpro, right? Have you heard this name? ABAP best Web Dynpro application. Any one of you?
Yes, we have Manu. Basically, these
Good.
are portal-based web applications
Good.
and directly linked to the SAP ECC backend. Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, right. You are saying so. It's basically
Majorly, I have seen majorly I have seen WebDynpro applications being a part of ESS portal, employee self-services.
Okay, so Web Dynpro application is, it is very much I will say linked with your ABAP structure, right? So if you see this, any transactional Web Dynpro ABAP, basically it's not even a GUI, it's not even a Fiori UI5, it's actually a Web Dynpro, which is a ABAP application. Okay, which is also has been included as part of once they release Fiori 2.0 version, right? So all the transaction which they are was doing with respect to Web Dynpro, which was purely was running in a ABAP transactional application, which ABAP basically ABAP based application, right? ABAP folks, you might be knowing already, you might have developed some application which are purely ABAP only, right? So those Web Dynpro best ABAP application also can be configured on Fiori Launchpad. So this has been, supported by after Fiori 2.0 release. Now we are in the Fiori 3.0, okay, and going to become soon, very soon, Fiori 4.0 now. Okay, so this upgradation has happened because when they have launched SAP UI5 and Fiori, it was more of supported to only those applications which is going to, develop on top of SAP UI5 framework. okay, but not for those application which was actually based on SAP GUI transaction, ABAP based application, right? Like Dynpro, right? So for those things also they have included in their upgradation of Fiori 2.0. Reason being is that because uh, otherwise, see, the idea of making Fiori SAP was to make it available for every business users as a web application, right? So why not they can also make it available for for the web Dynpro application. So that's the reason they came up with such kind of applications, like to make it available for web Dynpro or web GUI, all these things. So this is another top. I mean, you can see any of the I would say any application which is running on a web Dynpro type. For example, I will show you how it looks in your Fiori apps library. For example, let's say I will just search like web Dynpro. You can also find out some relevant information, maybe. Okay, let's see here. So this is something called demo sales order web Dynpro ABAP. See, it's mentioned here. What is the application type? Web Dynpro. Okay, HANA DB exclusive, right? So this is the app ID. You remember we don't have any component. These are the web Dynpro ID generally, which we develop in your ABAP system. Okay, so web Dynpro application, if you see here, this is the ABAP application and having a classical transaction of an SAP Fiori theme. So this has been supported as a part of SAP Fiori now. So this you see SAP Fiori 3 is the leading design in all SAP applications right now. And yes, it has been get supported by Fiori 2.0 version. Right now they are talking about, of course, with Fiori version 3. So you will find out what are the any information available for that same thing. Again, you will not find any OData services linked to it. You will not find any SAP UI5 component linked to it. You will not find any extensibility information. Only thing you need to find out is about configuration. Okay, I remember what is the key point to make it available on Launchpad? This semantic object. Okay, so this is the semantic object and semantic action making it available on your Fiori Launchpad, right? So if I summarize it, so your SAP UI5 build application, your SAP Fiori elements build application, your SAP GUI transactional application, T-code based transaction, and ABAP application of type web Dynpro. All of them in SAP domain can be configured on your SAP Fiori Launchpad as an application which is running on the web browser. Okay, so this is also one of the part which comes as a transactional application. It could be anything. I mean, it could be transactional, fact rate, analytical application. So like that. Okay. Now, so this is again some feature here, like to perform some transactional types here. I think we have already discussed more on this. So, and architecture we have also discussed now. Okay, so apart from that, if you have seen that architecture you have seen, right, like what is the UI layer, what it contains, so whatever library, yeah, UI add-ons which goes to as a part of your basically this structure, right? Whatever you talk about, whatever UI add-ons, UI component, everything comes in a structure. Whatever the business suite like CRM, SRM, right, that will go to your backend component here, right? So this is what the same thing it has been mentioned here. So all the libraries refers to your gateway component and then your backend component for your backend services. Okay, like every OData service, like ABAP folks, you might be knowing, right? When you develop OData services, you come and register here, right? In a IWF and the Mint service, you go and come register, you activate. Okay, you activate the SICF nodes, right? All these things. So all this activity comes here, right? You develop in the backend, but we register and do that in the gateway component. Now, okay, so same thing, whatever we discussed here, I mean, is the same thing. How we communicate via trusted RFC connection to the ABAP backend logic, okay, any database. Now, this is something we talk about here, configuration, which again, they are talking about what we have in your, I told you, like a kind of web dispatcher. Web dispatcher will helps to redirect your request where it has to go. In this architecture, you might see directly here, because web dispatcher doesn't make any much difference in transactional app. It directly goes to your back server request. It can fetch the data and bring back to the application. But difference will come when we talk about FactSet and Analytical as a smart business application. There you will see how this web dispatcher playing some small role. Okay, so that is something we are talking about here. Yeah, web dispatcher, single sign-on, of course. I mean, if you have already SSO enabled in your organization, you don't have to keep your login credential again and again. So what we talk about here in this structure is the same thing has been explained, which we have already explained you. Okay, what is the component required? System landscape, right? So these are for all, but just see the last component, right? So for any transactional app, you need to make it available, right? So you need to have the front end server, what is needs to be there, right? It has to be that your gateway system, you have to activate OITA service, right? Some language setting, whatever we configure your launchpad also in your S4. Yes, though we are going to develop your application on BTP environment, we will talk about how we will configure there. But we are also talking here to make you understand how different it is, from your S4 system to your when you go to the cloud system, right? Because that understanding is very important. Because if you don't know how, because see, at the end you are consuming the S4 HANA system services, right? OITA service, right? So whatever OITA services you are activating, you are maintaining the system alias, you are activating, you are transporting, you are testing it, right? So all these things you are still doing in S4 HANA system. What we are doing in BTP Launchpad and what you do in S4 HANA Launchpad, the difference is only is that your hosting is going to be changed. Your deployment may be changed, but the core logic you still have, because we don't have HANA Cloud right now, right? We have HANA S4 HANA system. So this information is also very important. So make note of it. I mean, you guys being a web developer, you already doing all this activity, right? In SAP NetWare, you might have interacted with the Fiori folks, which you are already being developing the Fiori application. You need to, whatever your services have been developed is going to be tested sometime in SAP Gateway client. You are testing them, right? You test the get call, post call, all these services, and then you give it okay, it's okay. Then you can give it to the developer to integrate, right? So all these things come your part of gateway activity. And then this part you see, this is for Fiori Launchpad configuration. Since we are not going to do our deployment in our S4 system right now, so if time will permit, I will definitely will show you how we can do in your Launchpad configuration S4 as well. But our primary focus will be first on BTP, how we do on the cloud system, right? So, but we'll see if time will permit. I will try to cover both of them. But if not, then we'll stick to our cloud version of it. Okay. Similarly, in front end server, like see, okay, one more thing what I need to tell you here. Remember, see, whatever you see, right? I was talking about this a standard application, right? All these standard application, whenever you come, right, you always have something to be activated, right? So every service, for example, let's say I talk about this, let's say some other application, let's say all apps, okay, something cash flow analyzer. Okay, here this is the Analytical Fiori apps. If you see under this going section, you will find out this application, right? This analyzer. Okay, so when this is the path, you have to use it. So whenever you configure your any standard SAP application, you have to activate them, right? So that you have to activate under SICF is a transaction. I am not sure how many of you know this SICF transaction. SICF transaction also used to activate your data service also. ICF nodes, remember? So those ICF nodes has to be activated, and all the, this is a part of catalog, group, roles, all to be done in your front end server, which is nothing but this component in the architecture flow. What you see, all this configuration activity, adding your services, activating it, right? Creating a roles here, assigning to the group, catalog, all things performed in this area. Okay, so this is what it is mentioned in details right now here. Okay, that's it. Okay, so this is all about your transactional apps. I have tried to give you the in detail overview. Any questions so far on transactional apps, understanding of SAP GUI best application, the example, SAP Fiori apps, or type of SAP Fiori elements, and then we have Dynpro. All these 4 types of transactional apps with respect to your architecture diagram flow and the backend and front end component. Any doubt anyone have it? We can discuss.
So Manu, which is the preferred servers? Is it the central hub or the embedded one?
Preferred will be central hub.
Central hub on a separate systems, right?
Because the maintenance will be different, right? Because see what the major advantage we have in central and central system is that I shown you, like backend and front end component will be different here. Okay, something if I will show you how it's going to look like. For example, 1 minute, let me try to show you in a different ways in terms of, let me show you how it's actually looks alike. Okay, so let's say one of the, okay, so this is how central hub is going to look alike. Okay, so what happened here? Here is this is your SAP NetWeaver gateway. Okay, SAP NetWeaver, or I'll just say gateway server. Okay, this is also known as nothing but a front end server. Okay, so this is everything what you do here. It's more of like you are adjusting your data services, you are deploying your UI5 Fiori application, you are configuring your Fiori launchpad, you are creating a role, right? All these things comes here. But when we talk about here this is your front end server, this is your back end server. So basically here this is your SAP business suite, right? SAP business suite stands for, like, it has various ERP integrated to each other. Like it could have like different ERPs, like SRM, then ERP system of SRM, then you have a CRM, right, etc., right, something. So like that you will be having it. So this is known as your ABAP backend server. ABAP backend server. Now let's see in this scenario what happens. Like if you are making, right, any changes, right, of course they are connected to each other, no problem. But what the major difference will come here is that when you are doing any kind of development here, right, see if you are doing any configuration activity, right, for example here you can say that app you can do configuration, right, config, okay, activation, okay, activate rules, right, launchpad, right, I would say deployments, right, and launchpad, etc., right? So everything you, whatever you're performing here, is not going to affect this, right? Or let's say you are developing any right, let's say you are making here business transaction, okay, or developments. Okay, so when you are performing this any activity in your backend component here, right, and when you are performing the front end activity over here, so though they are interlinked to each other, but they are separate. So your maintenance will be very easy. It means management, you managing these component will be easy. They are independent to each other, right? It doesn't need to do, okay, what activity I'm performing here, whatever launchpad, anything activity I'm doing here, it doesn't going to affect this part. Similar way, any business transaction happening here in this case is not directly going to affect any of this part here. So your development will be a smooth everything, because they are not directly linked to each other, being separated. Okay, so this is comes your central launchpad. But in terms of let's say central hub, right, sorry, in terms of embedded, embedded stands for the name itself going embedded, right? So what happened here, embedded structure, you will have one SAP system, like one system where you have backend and frontend both aligned together. Basically, it's like that. Okay, so one of the component you can say this is your SAP gateway front-end server, and then in the same system you have this, right? So it is very much interlinked to each other, right? So anything, if you are doing it, any changes you are doing it, there is a very much possibility that is going to affect your objects what has been attached to each other, right? So that's the major reason what we have is we generally keep it separately so that your maintenance, or you can say your independent development or testing can be performed easily rather than doing combining at one single place. So this is your embedded, this is your central hub deployment. So this is the most preferable uh, you know uh, SAP system design, I would say. With respect to development and design perspective, this is one of the two major reasons we have it. Hope it's clear, right? Any question?
Yeah, Manu, it's pretty clear now. Okay, thanks.
Okay, good. Anyone else? Anybody? No, right? Okay,
I have one more
so
question. Sorry,
yeah,
Manu. I have
no
one
problem.
more question. We talked about the Dynpro being migrated onto, Fiori
No, not
applications.
migrated. It has been made it supported. Not migrated, supported. Supported means like, see, it is still in your ABAP server, ABAP application. We still have it there, but
Okay.
now they can also be accessed via say Fiori Launchpad. So it has been made available on Fiori Launchpad, so that a user is not has to go to see, some user having access to SAP GUI, right? Some having a Fiori, some having a Dynpro. For example, let's say you are a user, you have one of the application which is type of a Dynpro, right? And you
Right.
have SAP GUI, you have Fiori. Now let's say Fiori application, you are coming and doing the activity on Launchpad, but for Dynpro you are going to have SAP system and doing that activity. So
Mhm.
I mean, it's not means you will feel like, oh, I mean, I have to go here and there also. I am doing. Let's say you are traveling, you have something to perform, right? You can do your Fiori application activity on your mobile device or any device what you have right now with you, but you don't have access right now Dynpro because you need to have a SAP GUI system installed. Mobile mein to hoga na SAP GUI, right? So you cannot do that. In that scenario, that's where SAP has come up with this key. Let's provide every support to every type of application. So this SAP domain mein we have these 4 types. Earlier it used to be only 2. Dynpro was the first actually. Later on it came SAP GUI. Then now of course SAP Fiori and UI5 has came. SAP UI5 came UI5. The go. SAP Fiori is nothing but built on top of UI5 framework only. But when I say only SAP UI5, it means it's a free style. Like it doesn't have your Fiori elements, layout design. That's the where we can simply say SAP UI5 best Fiori app, like that. So Dynpro,
So,
GUI, Fiori, all of them
yeah,
at one
yeah.
place.
So, I mean, calling it to be supporting the Dynpro application means we still have it on our ECC or S4HANA,
Ha ha.
and that is those applications they are rendered on the mobile
Fiori
devices
Launchpad. Fiori Launchpad. Yeah.
or the Fiori launchpad, if we
Launchpad.
say it like that.
Yes.
And so, what is the need of why I'm asking this question is that we had done, one of the project where we kind of migrated all Dynpro application onto the tiles. So,
Okay.
if this, I mean, this provision is available for us, then I would say that that was added effort, right?
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, see, only accessibility part will be there. I mean, on Launchpad, your development will still have your SAP whatever, sorry, ABAP, Pro application, whatever you are developing, right? That piece of development, your ABAP best will be still in your SAP system. What you have migrated, what you have actually configured your Pro in your Launchpad, right? So on Launchpad, it's just the accessibility. You are not actually developing it. See, it doesn't have SAP UI5 coding or Fiori design
Mhm.
guidelines in the place. what it has, it is running on the Fiori Launchpad to make it easily available for the business user who is interacting Fiori apps also, or they have some application like Web Dynpro to be also work on. So SAP has given a one central place to access all type of application, right? Be it Fiori freestyle, say Fiori elements, or SAP GUI transactional based application, or be it even a pure ABAP application which is Web Dynpro, right? Like that. So what you have migrated to the launchpad, means you have configuration has been on a
Yes,
launchpad.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
right.
yes.
Good, good.
Okay.
That's actually many organization is doing it, because Fiori anyway it was there. So GUI also they are migrating, and in large sense now GUI was doing, but Web Dynpro was something which was purely ABAP, right? So GUI was
Right.
still better, because GUI you have just a transaction T code you run, that's it. But ABAP Web Dynpro has a more other little bit complexity. So that's the reason they made it available Web Dynpro also on Launchpad to make it easily to perform some transaction activity. So your migration was more of your Fiori Launchpad activity.
Yeah, it was altogether taken on to the launchpad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Great, great. Yeah. Okay, thanks. Anybody else? Okay, fine. So now let's say about FactSet. Okay, we discussed we have three types of application. We had one was transactional, which we discussed, and which is was largely used set of application what we have in SAP. Okay, and then we have now FactSet, and then you have an article. So let's talk about FactSet. So see, the FactSet app is actually, if you see the facts, if you have seen, I'm not sure if you have seen the FactSet application or not, but generally a FactSet application are those who actually interact with your central objects in your business operations. Basically means, what does it mean? That means it can bring out those details which is navigating. I mean, basically when, let's say you are having some information in your fact sheet which you are displaying, if you want to go and deep dive into more information of particular business object, you can still go and find out. Okay, means what? You can, for example, you can navigate right from a document of some business partner to the master data. Means what? See, generally, see, if you see the major difference in transactional app, what you do, you have some list of information available in the table, you make some changes, you perform some activity, and that's it done, right? You are actually not looking into the more details of that particular business object, right? What it is referring to. Okay, right? For example, let's say you have some managed sales order I have shown you, right? Something. So whatever table, okay, just for example here, you see here, okay, I'm just comparing your fact sheet and transactional. So transactional, mainly you will see such kind of data, right? But see, these are, let's say, some sales order line items which is coming here, right? That's it, right? Now this sales order line item, you are maybe editing it, right? You may be deleting it, updating some information. That's it. You are not seeing every information what actually belongs to this in the backend, right? Like what table it has, what master data it belongs to, right? What table it is actually, which particular business object it is referring to. Those details you will not find in transactional. It's very much what data you need, it brings up, you perform something, that's done. But in case of FactSet, you can actually drill down to the details of that particular business object, right? That's the power of FactSet. Okay, how it works is, you can see here now. So you can start transaction. Basically, you do remember yesterday we talked about navigation, right? So here, this is the fact sheet where we have a lot of navigation. Navigation stands for you can actually navigate from different transaction, like from transactional apps to analytical apps, or from here and there different, like master data application, right? You see there are a lot of Fiori application which is host as a master data application, right? So a FactSet will give you accessibility to go and deep dive into those particular business object which is involved into your FactSet, not only by just seeing the data what you see in the table, not only just by seeing the information available as a button you perform something. Rather, you can go as much as n number of details. Let's say you have click on sales order item, you want to see the details. Okay, click on, you will go navigate to sales order details. Now you want to see a particular sales order item may have belongs to some kind of different customer. Okay, click on that customer, go and see the customer details, right? So those deep dive navigation is supported fully in a FactSet. Okay, so normal navigation, of course, we can also make it available for transaction. Transaction mainly is supported for, like free fast, kind of transaction which you perform. You can of course navigate from one transaction to another transaction, or different application. But the idea of navigation in FactSet is more about getting the information from deep dive from your backend component, what you are actually using it. Okay, it doesn't like you are going to see the code here. It's more of like what are the information users. Let's say I am an admin, I need to see my FactSet application. I saw some sales order, I want to see some details, what are the sales details are available, right? I want to see whatever the customer involved into it. I want to see what are the sold party involved into it, what are the plants involved into it, right? I can keep diving into one app, say I can go into 10 other, deep navigation, and I can find out every information what I belongs to that particular application. Okay, so it's not only one app, but rather it supports a lot of other navigation which can go inside and check it. Okay, so these are the feature which have, and yes, this FactSet needs only SAP HANA database. It doesn't support any other database. That is the very hard stoppage for this. You know why? The reason being it's having a search model. Remember, I see how you search models here. It supports the navigation. What when you navigating, right? So basically, see how navigation. What does it mean by navigation? Let's say I'm just showing one example. Just for example, this is one of the information. Let's say this is the some link text. Okay, let's say this is the customer, right? I want to see some more information about this customer. Okay, so I'm selecting this record and I'm navigating to some of the my master data of customer, or maybe say custom detail application or custom master data application, right? So when I'm clicking this, what is happening here in behind? It is actually taking this customer ID while I'm navigating back to the customer details, right? And it is passing as a search parameter. So this is what does it mean. So the search models is very strong here, right? So it will display your data based on what search you are performing on a particular when you are doing navigation to any business object. So this search model is very, very important in this scenario. If the search model is strong enough, then your business transaction will be strong enough. So that's the reason SAP HANA having that capability that can, make it happen by the search models. Okay, now if you coming back to any, like, of course, if you see the, I mean, it has also mentioned, right, like you can of course drill down in details, navigate from one to another fact sheet, or you can move back to one of the transactional apps to another transactional app or any analytical app. So you can, of course, you can keep drill down from any one application type to another application type. Okay, now these are the requirements here you need to do. Like SAP HANA database has to be a specific, it should be a specific content. I mean, it has to be there, right? It supports your enterprise search. Otherwise, I mean, of course, it's HANA database support. That's why we are using it. Other we do it doesn't support, so that's why the version is important here. ERP 6.0 is the something which you need it. Okay, FactSet for that. Navigate, see, normally navigate from one to another app, right? It could be a transactional, could be an article app, right? So that's why I'm saying it's not necessary that one factory to another factory. It can navigate to anything, anywhere. Like, yeah, I can navigate to even SAP GUI also. I can navigate to Dynpro also. It's just the fact that you can keep navigating, means you are basically you are drilling down, right? You are drilling down to get into depth of the information, what it brings, the particular sales order, what all the things are available, what customer, plants, and sold to party, anything, whatever is available, you keep go inside, find every information, and then take a decision. This is where FactSet is very important in that scenario. Okay, now, so this is a typical FactSet information. You can see having a, you see this is what I was talking about, right? So there is one particular navigation I will see. See, this is a standard sales order 83. Let's say, for example, this is my one of the sales order. Name it as a something called standard sales order 83. So when I'm clicking on the sales order, it is navigating to one of the sales order detail page of type 83. Now it has all the information in the header, what is needs to be know, right? What are these are different facet available, which is as an object, it will display what are the information, item, partners, process flow, what every information. Now see, let's say you click on material. Now it will make you go back to inside the material information, what it belongs to. Right. If you go to business partner section, right, you can click on the business partner, it will go back to your different navigation where you can see some more details of it, right? So FactSheet is meant for that, like it support multiple navigation, and the idea of doing that is because you want to drill down the information what it belongs to a particular application. That's the only reason we keep doing that. For example, you see one of the example, you see an example of SAP UI5, which is called shopping cart item. Let's say this is one of the shopping cart information. For more information, you can of course always go to and find out. This link always will be present for every application, and this is the SAP help port, right, which will give you all information, what are the information it needs, what are the key facts it has, right, the key parameter what is needs to be shown, what are the navigate to the following fact sheet, like means the particular application also navigation supported for these purchase contract and purchase order navigation, right? These are the type of another fact sheet, right? What are the backend component, right? You can access following transaction in a ABAP system, means employee self-servicing area, like means what you are not basically what transaction stands for, like there will be a navigation to directly SAP GUI based. See, this is the what SAP Web Dynpro application, right? This is the some kind of POWL type of application. It could be a Fiori or it could be a SAP GUI application. So basically, it's saying that you can access from these are other backend system, which could be your Web Dynpro, could be your Web GUI, right? Kind of transaction, and you can see all these required information. So FactSheet is mean for that purpose. Okay. So you can find out here another one information here under, if you see installation part, you can find all the version, but installation is one of the part we find mainly the versioning of the component, but configuration is the one which we generally target. These are the again application path. Remember how you can have to activate that part. These are the services which is required to be, and we talk about right about your semantic object is one of the things. Display fact sheet. Remember, display fact is mainly is used here because let's say I am opening this application. First of all, I will see just a display page. Then I will keep clicking all these whatever link text I will have. I will go inside the master detail. I can go inside the customer. I can go inside the plant, something like that. Okay, so this such kind of deep navigation will be always presented. Okay, so that information will be available with the help of whatever semantic option has defined here. This is defined display, it will just display. But if having an edit fact sheet, change fact sheet, so you can perform accordingly like that, right? What are the catalog and all this thing we have already discussed. And yes, you can do that extensibility, but it has to be supported. In this case, extensibility information has not given actually. Remember yesterday I have shown you there were one link also, extensibility information of this application. How to extend is a general, is just for general things, okay, like for applicable to every application. But for this particular application, if it has been supported, there was another link, extensibility information for this app, something I have shown you yesterday. That link will come here. This is where you actually can go and check what are the backend and front end component you can actually extend, right? So those information will come here, right? It's like that. So again, when I'm talking about SAP UI5 type, remember what does it mean? I am talking about is it's not a Fiori elements, but it's a type of your SAP Fiori type of application what we have here. Okay. So basically, remember in case of whenever I talk about any kind of transactional, let's say analytical, if I say fact sheet, right? The fact sheet having only two tabs right now supported, which is of SAP UI5. So fact sheet is meant to be display your contextual information. Remember that will be a key facts, which is going to be a central object, which is linked here, right? Which we have talked about, and that central objects you can keep navigating and drill down the various information belongs to that particular fact sheet. Okay, this is the one of the type, and then you may have another type which is called something SAP Fiori elements. Okay, so remember, FactSet doesn't have GUI and Web Dynpro type of information available. It supports only SAP Fiori UI5 purely, because see, you cannot build any FactSet by just a T code. If I run some SAP T code like SAP GUI type, it doesn't going to perform my activity, right? It will be on SAP system, right? How you can navigate much drill down in the objects? You cannot do that. Let's say ABAP Web Dynpro program, right? That also not going to have so much capability to, you know, drill down every business objects belongs to that. That's the reason FactSet having only two types, which is your FactSet and of UI5 type means Fiori means a free style application, and then of course we have a few free elements, some Fiori elements application. Okay, so you see this is the typical if you see that information, if you can see as a Fiori preview, you can come here. 1 minute, not this link. Okay, app documentation, you can find out all the information here. Under say this is the type of Fiori elements. If you see FactSet SAP Fiori elements, something like that. Okay, so it's the same thing that we discussed for about your Fiori apps also, and even for your normal Fiori elements which we have discussed. So it's the same information. I'm just the overview where you can find out all this information. You can check that section here. Okay, now so these are the Fiori UI5 type of FactSet, and then you have another one is called Fiori elements type of application. So only two types of application is supported for FactSet. The reason being, you remember, the reason being is that you can do transaction by navigating to transaction apps, right? Or accessing to backend system directly, right? For any such things, you cannot perform in SAP GUI or ABAP Web Dynpro type of application. That's the reason it has only two types supported. Either free elements structure you can have, or either a free style SAP UI5 application. Okay, now see, as FactSet may an object page do not have tiles, right? Basically, if you see here, what I mean to say is that it doesn't looks like exact way of like you see the typical example of where we have is this, right? So FactSet doesn't come with this structure. Okay, it has the different structure, something like which I have shown you here. You might see this information of SAP UI5. Here you see this structure basically. Okay, so it has object when you navigate, right? It has a different object section. You have header. This is another middle of it. You see these are their facet available. Okay, like this is also in the annotation language. If you say this is a facet, you call it, right? This, but in terms of if you say object page, then object page section, it is called section, like general information section, item, and all something like that, right? So these whatever when you click upon this, so this automatically, if this area will come up, this will get hide. Okay, these are the feature wise they what they have explained over here. All right, now if you see the architecture here, SAP Web Display, remember in transactional we also have, but we have it was not much required to put directly, because anyway in transactional first request when it is go to from your device, it will directly go to your back ABAP front-end server. But in case of FactSet, your web dispatcher is playing a very much important role here. So what is the role of a web dispatcher? Basically, it identify your request, type of request, where it has to go. That decision is getting made by web dispatcher. Okay, so whenever your device is running that app, a web dispatcher detect, okay, which type of request has came. Does it is a normal OData request? It will directly go and go to hit your backend server, front end server, OData services. Anyway, backend server is connected here. Every information available here. It will return your data. But in case of FactSet, web dispatcher is smart enough to identify, okay, oh, this is not a normal OData call, but rather is a search protocol. Okay, so INA don't, it's like it's just a protocol name. It's a search protocol which go and directly hit your search models. The search models are the models which actually going to bring the drill down your business search category actually basically, and it will bring back your data when you are navigating to when you are navigating to one of the business object to another objects. Okay, so INA or Fiori search, what we talk about here, it is more of like directly drilling down to your business object in your SAP Fiori to find out, like if you guys have worked on SAP HANA, right? So there is something called SAP, I'm sorry, that search having a different category. Like you have view models, right? You exposed models, right? So view model, exposed model, these are the one which is basically going to be used here as your search model capability, which is going to fetch your data based on that search getting triggered by FactSet. So basically, whenever a fact is going to be re-rendered, it is going to trigger a search protocol which hits your search models, and then it will be communicate and it will give you also. It's like some kind of communication channel, right? So communication channel, it's okay. Have you heard about this communication channel, by the way? Any one of you? Have you configured like SAP? I mean, this search connectors, something like search models, anything?
No, Manu. I think everyone is very new to the Fiori concept. So
Okay. So
yeah.
FactSet made this ANA search protocol. Na? So this was one of the thing which for this is nothing but something called search connector. You see this line you see, right? This is ANA search protocol, but no one you have asked, how this is actually getting connected. Remember, so this is a connectivity which is happening with respect to search connector. So in SAP we have something called search connectors, right? Search connectors which actually going to you have to configure those kind of protocols to support your FactSet ANA search. Okay, so I will just show you how it looks like. This is something called okay, again it's a very high level. Maybe you guys when you do some kind of something called ESC cockpit. So if you see here, it opens one of the configuration page. Okay, so this is where you maintain some. See, this is the connector, right? Admission cockpit. You maintain here different types of connector. Okay, connector means kya hota? What does it mean? It means you see in the diagram, this connectivity you see here. So see here, if you try to understand what happened in case of transactional. Remember transactional, if you go on that little top, see here, it when the request is going here, it directly going, right? It's just a normal HTTP OData call. Directly you are hitting to the front end server OData service communication. You are fetching the data, right? But in case of FactSet, it's not going directly. Okay, it is triggering to your search models. So first this connectivity has to be established. So this is happening with the help of search connectors. Okay, so this search connectors, what you see here right now, here, whatever you see right now, this is something will be helpful. Now see, material bomb header, material document, what does it mean here? Okay, these are the connectors name, right? So for example, if one of your application, let's say having connectors configured for let's say for bank, okay, or let's say for any kind of billing document, right? And your application, you are running it, right? So let's say that whatever you are referring right now, your application which is belongs to your search which you have triggered is belongs to that particular search connector, let's say billing document request, right? So this connector will hit your billing document request and it will drill down and give you the data from your S4 system, what you have requested here. Okay, clear? So this is the search connector. That's why this first invoke your search models in your S4 system to drill down your business objects related to that search connectors configured for your FactSet. And then once this connectivity is established, then it will return the data, and this is where it will go back to your front end server, which is here, and then this data will revert back to your data. Got the point? So this connectivity of search connector is very important. This is just a configuration. Okay, don't worry. These are a search object connectors. Matlab kya hai? It means that Of course, see what you do here. Let's, for example, I am doing click go. What is it doing? It is doing the search, right? It is search means basically filter, basically, right? If I say with respect to the company code and fiscal code, it is searching my data. Filtering is nothing but kind of search. You see, this is a search. So you are searching some data and bring it back. So in fact, it doesn't. So see, this search in transactional is happening only on this particular business object of your sales order list item, nothing else, right? But in facts, it may, what is the purpose of facts we discuss, right? It can go and drill down your business object. That's the reason it needs some connectivity of such connector wise configuration is required, so that when it's invoke any search or it's invoke any request for the business object, it should return the data. So you're in your HANA database model, there are just search models. Okay, so search models may, there are different layers, right? Which is exposed as to use something. No, if you, how many of you work extensively in S4 HANA system? I mean, you know, like, what does it mean? I mean, if any one of you have work on this, you know, the search models, I mean, any modeling, I mean, basically in HANA, how, if you have, because I believe these things might have come to you Q also, if you have actually worked on. No, right? Okay. Okay. Everyone can hear my voice, right? I'm seeing full silent.
Yeah, Manu, we can hear you out, and I don't think that extensively anyone has worked onto the S4 HANA model. Yeah, we are using the new syntaxes, although, or we have, or few of us have used it, but not extensively. Yeah.
Oh, okay. No problem. Okay, so yeah, so okay, I got your point. So yeah, so this is, I mean, when you start working right in S4 HANA, you will see there are various capability. One of the capability having search models. So search model is the one of the very good feature, is mostly used in not only in fact it wherever you have, let's say, a smart business application, we will talk about after that. So there also you have some extensive use of that, right? So there is some modeling of something called enterprise search model. Okay, enterprise search model, whenever you configure, you also configure here, like you, I mean, you develop in your, of course, in S4HANA, and then you maintain a connectivity. Okay, so whenever you see this modeler, this is nothing but referencing to your HANA modeler. When you, if you go inside, so basically it will go and back to you. See, these are your software component which is linked to each other, right? So these are the business objects. See, view object, cap, you know, it's a SAP CRM utility. Basically, I mean, what I'm saying here, these are the software components and information available. You can drill down and basically, so whatever modeling you will do for search, right? So in terms of to make use of interaction, right? Especially in terms of FactSet and any business such transactional of search models. Yeah, this is the model you will do in S4 HANA, and this is the place where basically admin, whoever having the access, they come here and they maintain, you know, those whatever the search objects has been configured, and they maintain their connectors. Okay, and that connectors, if established, this is the place where your this request will go and it will return, I mean, search models will get triggered your with respect to your search connectors. Let's say if you have invoking the any customer search connector which is linked to that model, it will of course find out and it will return, invoke that search here, and then it will execute whatever the search model backend logic, go back to your front-end server, and it will revert back to your whatever you have the device, and you can see the data, right? So this is about your FactSet search model, HANA search model. You can find out more information in HANA search model. You can just try to get time something. You can find out if you are a S4 HANA. If you want to get expertise, it's very good feature in S4 HANA. It's very powerful, basically. Yeah. So you can of course drill down on those topic. It will help you in the later course. Okay. Now see again, system landscape, whatever we talk about here is the same thing, is written in the words here. UI component, of course, in gateway you have all the business in the backend component. Connectivity, we have Trusted RFC. Other additional, we have INA search protocol, which is nothing but this protocol, which is nothing but search connector. It will be with the help of search connector. Okay. Now, so this is about your fact set. Okay. So anyone having any question on fact set? We are covering up with fact set now. We will start with analytical apps.
Manu Sandeep this side.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm not from HANA background, so okay. I'm completely new. I have one question. Can you go to that snip which the architects? Can you go to
sure.
Here? So here, like which part will carry the search query? I mean, exact query. So you said like there. So you said like here is one is model, one is one is search model, and one is the connector, right?
Search model which lies in your S4 HANA system, which is already available, which you have to this is the capability of S4 HANA. So when you are developing any search models, right? If you see this, if you go back, you have seen the modelers, right? That modeler information. Yeah.
So this will carry the actual query. I mean
search
yes. Model. Okay. Search. And when we say the connectors, so you said like there is already existing connectors, just we have to make use of it. But in case if we have,
you have to configure. I mean, you have to configure. I mean, basically you have, let's say you have created some.
Of course, with that whatever the existing we have to configure to enable it. But the question is, if I have some, let's say some custom fields, and that I have to also deploy. So how that should be done? I mean, those connectors should be deployed first, right, before connecting to the search model. So is there
what custom field? I mean, like, where you want to put that custom?
Say like you said, like there's I mean, we had one example where you said like BOM detail we had, right? So let's say in the BOM detail, if I have the rate I have customized, and then apart from the rate, I have one more general rate. So general rate is the custom field which we have in backend, and that need to be also displayed over the Fiori apps. So in that case, that connector should be also deployed to enable or connect with the search model. So do we have any option where we, apart from the whatever the SAP has given the connector, we can also deploy our own connectors?
See, these connectors are basically whatever it's very much linked to your modeler. Okay, so when you talk about modeler, so whatever you are adding, any additional custom information, any custom object, right? So that is actually a part of your modeler, right? If your modeler is communicating to that, let's say you have let's say this activity type or allocation table or anyone, a bank chain, right? Any of these connectors you have created and you link to your modeler. Okay, so let's say if I'm connecting to my modeler, your business logic actually here, it is here in the modeler. So modeler you have added modeler itself. This is just a connectivity. For example, see this is like you want to connect something, right? It's like a dot connection. So this configuration is the name. Some name you can give any name, right? You can give some name. This is the ID which will be gets generated, and then this will be linked to your modeler. So you see, if I'm clicking on any of the modeler, I select this record and I select the modeler. So it will bring back all the modelers which is linked to that particular configuration which I have done it, and it will show you your component over here, right? So it will show you which business object it is referring to. So you might have added custom logic, you might have added some customized information. So as long as your modeler is executing those custom logic, then this connector is just to make a communication between your modeler and the search. That's it. It's just a bridge. Like when this the request comes here, for example, when this request comes here, it will just invoke the search connector first. Search connectors, let's say the name was bank or something, right? A customer. So it will.
I mean, search connector is nothing but the
connection.
In very easy way, I say like the in where, I mean, in select query, whatever we provide in where clause, right? So those parameters sort of like at high level. because we have,
Kind
say,
of you
activity
take
type, bank number, and so those are the search field, sort of, right?
kind of. I mean,
Kind of,
technically,
yeah.
kind of you can say, right?
Yeah,
But
just to relate
the
this. Yeah.
kind of you can say, but not exactly, because search connectors having a little difference concept here, because it's
Mhm.
like a see, I mean, basically it's connecting your data model, because see, directly, of course, you cannot go and directly expose to go to back to directly S4HANA, right? You cannot, because the S4HANA having a lot of things. So what it does is basically search connectors is actually linked to your search models. So you can have many modelers, right? So when
Right.
you are configuring your, let's say for a particular application, you have defined one modeler. Now you are creating one search models, right? Search connectors. So in that search connectors, SAP has a standard, plus you can create your own configure also, right? You have option here. If you see here, you have both the option. Okay, you can either, why it doesn't go back? Okay, let me relaunch it. So it has given, SAP has given both of them, right? Now basically, I think developer maybe I may not have this kind of ESS cockpit connectivity here. You can have it. If you see here, you have option, right? Create, delete, right? So this option will make you to create one connector, and that connector basically is going to link to a particular modeler, and modeler going is having your business logic, right? It
Business.
is
I
actually
want.
referring to your
Yeah.
business.
Yeah. Oh,
So it just making a connectivity. So instead of direct communication to your S4 HANA, it's going via a search connector of a particular business object to that particular model which has been defined, be it custom or a standard. As long as this is executing your business search logic properly, then no problem. It will just execute, return all the information, go back to front end server. Data will return back to the device. Clear, right?
yeah, understood. So modeler is the main thing where we have the business logic, and this connector is just.
Yeah. Your modeler is the main thing. Connector is just establishing
Yeah.
your modeler connectivity so that it can perform the search. That's it.
Thanks.
Like if I'm going here, right? If I'm selecting my customer, I'm passing you my customer ID, right?
Yes.
So your search model, whatever you have defined here, basically, if you see in your let's say modeler, right? Let's say this is the component. Under this object, what you need as a filter parameter as a customer ID. So if your
Yes.
modeler having this input you received, well and good, it will just search the result and it will return back. So that's what it does actually. Okay, great, thank you. Anyone having any question on FactSet? Okay, all right. So now we'll start with analytical apps. So okay, so analytical apps is something very I would say one of the most powerful application in SAP domain. In fact, even in the outside SAP world, if you see the ease of the development of analytical app is very actually good or a strong, and I would say in terms of very small language, I would say very simple language is easy. Why? The reason being it has the power of S4HANA. S4HANA having a power of analytics, data analytics. Have you heard about that, right? So analytical apps is meant to analyze your data and present in the form of some kind of graphical representation. Like it could be in the kind of chart, like it could be a bar chart, it could be a pie chart, right? It could be different various chart are available that you can actually go and drill down and you can see all these data analytical way. Like it's not like a tabular format. Like analytical app doesn't have only tabular, but it has something in the form of analytics. Okay, so I will see if there is any example for analytical apps. I will try to show you here if it has. Okay, maybe not, but okay, no problem. I will show you in the SAP standard Fiori apps library. Okay, so basically, SAP HANA database actually provide you very much real time. Okay, analytical apps also having a very good feature is that it always update your data in very real time. Like there is a way of configuring the application which basically you can point out to a particular service which can refresh your data every minute or second, depends how you customize. So it every time it gives you the business insight at certain interval very accurately, right? So but this is also handled role based. Remember, always Fiori apps having a role based insight. For example, if I am a like employee and I am accessing one of the analytical apps, right? And a similar way, one administrator is trying to access the same analytical apps, right? But the real time data for me, it may not be exactly the same the way it is showing to the admin. How it can be handled by, for example, when doing the configuration, I can attach my real-time data fetch for the particular role which has been attached here. Okay, so real-time data control is also available. It's not like everybody can go and see all real-time data. If it's not meant to be shown to somebody, some particular role, it cannot be seen, right? So it's a very much interactive application which is more of data analyzing. That's why it's known as analytical apps. It will analyze your data in your business transaction. It will present you as a insight of your what is happening in your business, right? Let's say today or weekly wise or daily wise or hourly wise, if you want to track your business, what have happened in your business, what is the progress, what is the drawbacks, what is the profit and loss you are going, right? So it's a very quick insight it will give you. Like every, you configure for every minute, you configure for every hour, it will keep giving you the real time information. You will be always on top of this analytical apps, and in the form of course information which will be going to help you to take some decision, like whether you can be, it's more of top level business kind of stuff they use it. So that's the reason I told you, right? Transactional app is the most widely used. Okay, and then high level business analytical apps is getting used, and fact is also of course the high level business. But in terms of, if I say data analytics, data science, data analytics, all this right terminology we use, CBC, this is where analytical apps comes in the picture. Means the data analyzation. See, fact it also doesn't analyze data, it gives you drill down information. Like you have to keep navigating to the business object and it will give you the information, right? But analytical apps is going to give you the complete insight of your data. It analyze your data and present in the form of some table, some chart, some information accordingly. Okay, so analytical apps having of two types. Okay, something called one a smart business app, one is virtual data model. Okay, so see, we'll talk about a smart business app actually, though we why it is known as a smart business app, because the reason being it gives you the information of any data which you are running in your business. Actually is a very descriptive way, a very informative way in the form of chart or some kind of visualization that can give you some intelligence, right? That give you some insight of real-time information. Let's say let's say a Flipkart, okay, let's say Amazon, right? Maybe COE, how they are tracking their application, right? I'm not saying they are using SAP analytical apps probably, but I'm just saying they might have such kind of application which they are giving them a real-time information, right? On a large volume, let's say whatever sales happened yesterday and today, what is happening, all these things. They don't have much time, right? They can go and see all the business object. Okay, this customer has ordered this. Okay, let's see who is the vendor. Let's see where the address and all these things. They don't have so much time, right? Rather, what they need to see, only that right information on a real-time basis for the large volume of data to be present exactly the way they want to see and take some decision. That's why it's very smartly it works. Like all these analytical apps, I will show you for one of the example. It works in very immediately with respect to something is your key performance indicator, which is KPI, which is nothing but real-time indicator, right? It's actually, let's say, there is a one you have seen if any Fiori application, there we have a coloring pattern, right? It has a red, green, yellow, blue, right? So these indicators. So if any deviation happens, no, it quickly identify, okay, this KPI turns red, then blue, green, yellow. So this KPI indicator is also like, see, basically I'm a, let's say a CEO is using a application, and suddenly he see, okay, KPI turning blue, red, green, right? So he immediately take action. Okay, what happened, right? So that's why this is very smartly operated application, which give you the insight of your business in a real time basis, rather like you can see after 1 week or a monthly or something. So your decision making is very important here. That's why it's very largely used in a very high level, and terminology is used as a smart business app. Okay, so before that, let me show you some insight of it. Okay, this is very simple application, but I will say try to show you something good one. Let's say analytical. I will try to analytical apps. Okay, so cite something inspect lot analysis. You see, this is called transactional analytical both. I mean, it has both the type which is available, analytical and transactional, but okay, they be exclusive because of analytical. That's why it's exclusive. It cannot be simply, it can be done, right? So this is the typical, you see one of the example of analytical apps. So if you see here, this is going to give you an insight of application. Okay, so this is also a kind of filter. Okay, see here, if you I mean you see these types and all, right? Hide mini charts. It means it will hide these information, and it will bring back such kind of maybe where it is. It will also have such kind of filter, but I mean it has a both option. You can hide and you can bring a normal filter, or you can have a chart wise. Okay, so the best part of this application is more of this analysis, data analysis, right? See, you in your study page also you might have seen, right? The all the data analysis, whatever chapter you might have studied, it consists your chart structure, right? So chart is something which gives you a visualization, right? Rather you go and calculate percentage wise, and with respect to you are comparing one threshold value to the frequency something, right? And then preparing a chart, right, at the end. So instead that this application gives you all this information in the form of whatever value you want to see, whatever value you have set for comparison. If you see here, remember, you see the list is dropped down here, right? Accepted and rejected lots by time series. Okay, so the moment you selected this, your visualization of your data on the large volume has been set back, the number of accepted and lost, number of rejected lots, and this is your time series. Like for January, this is the record, February and March, something like that. Okay, this is the visualization. So this is very much clear, right? Jan May, if you can see the record, what you see here is 46. If you consider as a something green, I means it's good, right? Like means number of accepted means this is good condition, right? It was 26 is bad. Further it was improved because the rejected is very less now, and March is also very less, right? Rejection is less, but at the same time it has a number of accepted lots also difference, right? So this visualization for a high level business user doesn't have to go and drill down and list report and perform something, right? Rather it can visualize the data and take some business decision. Okay, based on this visualization data, we have to take certain action. Okay, this is the percentage we are I mean operating, and we are targeting in the April month, how it can be improved, right? So these are the things you can see different charts are available. Basically this is going to set your layout accordingly, like if you want to maximize, minimize, and this is another one chart, right? This is the chart format right now, what you are seeing here. This is another chart section. If you select this, it will bring back some different chart here. Okay, similarly if you select this, it will bring back, right now you see the chart format. If you select this right side corner, it will bring back the same information in terms of tabular format, right? And then you can of course download with the help of this. So it has a lot of feature. I mean, when you will see real-time application of that, you will be able to see such kind of if you see the sorry so yeah, so that those kind of things you will be able to see in such application. Basically all the required information in the form of visualization. That's why it is data analytics, data science, what we talk about, right? We talk about all this. So this is all about data. Whatever you see here, it will be going to talk about your data representation in the form of chart, right? Same thing like that. Okay. Now, so again, the same thing is like Fiori elements, how it's going to look like, right? Example, okay, material, let's say what we have, F1077. Let me see. F1077. Let's see how it's behave. If you see a type here, what was the type here? You can always see a transactional analytical. This is a smart business drill down app. You see the type, you see, right? Smart business generic drill down. Matlab, it is showing you all the information. If you see in the even in the header level also, inspection lot, right? See, yeah, this is called accepted lots and you have a rejected lots. Similar way, they have an inspection lot analysis with respect to your accepted and rejected. What are the current figure, right? So see, key figures mean what your skip rates is given, rejection rate is given, all these thing calculation is given, right? It's very much already calculated, showing it here. Inspection lot analytics is already given in the terms of monthly wise, how it is increasing, right? 70% to now 92%. Right. Similarly, it is increasing or decreasing, whatever January, March to 1.08 to 8.6 is increasing value. So all these analysis, it is going to give you present. That's why it's called a smart business app. Now see how this let's say this particular Fiori elements looks like. You see that. Okay, material document overview. So in this also app, whenever you see, this is going to be a layout, right? And if you see that layout here in the top, again, the structure is going to be the same. I told you, if you use a Fiori elements, what will be anything, you're always having a header level may in analytical smart business, you might see those chart diagram, all these things, but you always have option also to convert back like this kind of filter structure. But generally it's used as a filter, not in terms of value but in terms of chart diagram. And this is the one of the application of type you see here is mentioned. It's like analytical Fiori elements, right? It's not a smart business but a Fiori elements. So Fiori elements may, you will still have some data visualization type of things. See, documents flow is given, see some tabular information of item is given, right? Some attachment is given. So it has more information rather than list report. If you see, it has just a list of data. Max to max, it might have some details, right? But if you see here, it has a lot of different structure when you go inside of any particular item. Like if I click on this, if I go inside in analytical apps, these are the information I should see. These are attachment section, item section, document flow section. These are the header section, what you can see. All these information I should be able to see that in analytical apps. So if you see here, this is the first page. Okay, looks like same as this, but when I click on a particular row, this is what I was talking about in the previous slide. This is what is the detail page. So if I am going here, this is my list page, which will a typical normal. I told you, if whenever it is a Fiori elements, when we're talking about, it is basically we are talking about the layout design, right? So layout design is going to be always the same pattern, right? It's going to have a filter bar, it's going to have a smart table, a smart filter bar, variant management, view setting dialog, exporting of it, right? All these feature what by default provided by Fiori elements template or Fiori elements layout design, or you can say a smart controls. Okay, because in the behind is nothing but the smart controls. So now so this list report, if you see here, this is the material. If I'm clicking on that, so this is where I'm going inside my, or if you see this row navigation, you see that this is the row navigation. Whenever you see indicator this arrow, it means it has a detail page, basically this detail page. Okay, it will come back to this detail page, means for a particular whatever item we have selected here, it will give you some more information. It will give you some more insight of your application. That business object, what are the information it has, it will give you more details of it. Similar way, if I see, look, for example, you see in the detail page, we have one of the section which kind of data visualization like delivery documents, what are the material documents, except accounting documents, and you can see various information, right? You can attach here, you can delete here, you can perform some activity. So this is a typical flow of analytical apps. It is also analytical apps can looks like right now transactional app, right? But feature wise, the way it interact with your HANA DB, the way it interacts with HANA modeler, okay, the way it's bring back your data visualization is only difference here. Okay, in transactional apps we don't have data visualization, but analytical apps we have both. Like you can have a list reporting also, and you can have a data visualization also, right? So whenever you have prominently data visualization, it is known as a smart business. Okay, a smart business generic drill down app, because it's mostly going to talk about your data analytics representation of it. If you talk about normal Fiori elements, it has the structure of list plus detail page with the data visualization or something. Again, in terms of analytical apps also, you have only Fiori UI5 and Fiori elements. Okay, and of course it has some analytical cloud here. I mean, we don't go to cloud section right now because we don't have S4 HANA. Basically, cloud means S4 HANA, right? So, okay, anyway, I will show you that as well, which is, let's say, for example, which one we have 6174, right? So 6174. So we right now what we have is S4 HANA. What we talk about on my system, right? This is your HANA cloud system, right? So it is means it is made for cloud only. It is not even made for S4 HANA what we have right now. Just for I'm just showing here SAP Analytics Cloud Story. Okay, so see, the in cloud open cloud also, no, SAP HANA what feature providing on premise, there could be a difference. I mean, there are certain difference in the cloud version. Okay, means capabilities wise, like when it is running on the cloud, it may be a faster, or it may be having a some more powerful feature that is little bit different than what we have in S4 HANA on-premise version. Definitely there will be some difference in terms of performance, in terms of data visualization, execution, all these things. Okay, so of course cloud section part we don't have right now, so we are not much into it. But yeah, let me see, it's again it's just the application built on your S4 HANA cloud database. That's it. Okay, it's going to be the same, right? So again, see, architecture wise, if you see here, remember I just talk about your web dispatcher again, key and at transaction it may not play a big role, but facet is plays to divert your search protocol, right, via those search connectors, and your analytical apps where it is going to basically again the left hand side what you see is the similar architecture flow diagram as it is for the transactional, factset, and analytical. What difference you see in the factset? We have search protocols for with the search connectors, right? In the data hard ATPS. Similar way in for analytical, a smart business app, we have a we don't directly call again with this connectivity. What you see, right? You remember of which I'm talking about HANA Access Engine. There is something called HANA Access Engine. Okay, so anybody has you heard about HANA Access Engine? One is, of course, as for HANA, what you have is there is something called HANA Access. Anybody? Okay, fine. So HANA, so you use there is a one separate SAP SPS for HANA, right? But there is one thing called SAP HANA Access. What does it mean? It is actually there is a one different, I would say, on top of S4 HANA, there is one something running on a web actually, okay, which supports your HANA web-based application. So what does it mean is that whenever a query comes, right, for let's say I have to write for analytical apps, whatever service I have been developed in my S4 HANA, okay, it's Access provides some extended part of that service to visualize those data into your web application, right? So this Access is actually a part of your S4 HANA itself, but it is on the top of your S4 HANA. Okay, it's a kind of modeling you can say, or you can say on the top of layer like web dispatcher we have, right? How it's present on top of a web front end server which is redirecting your search, right? Similar way, if I'm not exactly, I'm just comparing key how is it could be just one layer on top of S4 HANA. There it is going to perform, right, HANA based web application in terms of data visualization it is going to support. right? So this HANA access is the one which is responsible in analytical apps to get your data request in terms of visualization, right? Now you can see here something called VDM reuse, right? Content. What is VDM stand for here? VDM stand for visual data model. Okay, what visual data model? Remember, just now I talk about, right? We have seen also means whatever data you get it, you visualize, you means you convert back in terms of visualization, like something not as a data like written format, rather it going to convert in terms of some visualization, like it could be a chart format, it could be mostly in the chart format of course. Okay, and whatever we see in the application, this is the virtual data model which is actually going to provide you that visualization type here. Okay, so this is VDM having a certain layers and certain VDM types available. Okay, so those information I think you can always find out. So if I talk about your I will just give you a little bit information about VDM because it may give you some more information, because this is good understanding if you have how this data model works, like I have explained you about data modeling. Let me show you that also. Okay, so for example, here you just imagine this is your one of your HANA database. Okay, your okay, let me draw one line here. Okay, I think, okay, let me change the color. Okay, okay, so this is the one line here, and let me call it, okay, let me call it as a net. So this is your database, HANA S4 HANA database, right? Now on top of it, this is something I'm talking about here, layers of your VDM. Okay, for example, I'm just putting you some more clarity so that you can understand how it actually works. Okay, so this what I'm talking about here is I'm talking about your VDM layers. Okay, layers in S4 HANA. All right, so now again, this S4 HANA database, I told you, you don't need to worry about here, because this is, I told you, okay, this is, see what is mentioned here. If you see what we have seen, told you, okay, this is just on top of S4 HANA. Access engine is just on top of S4 HANA, which contains, so S4 HANA again contains what? This contains your SAP Fiori app content, which we generally visualize, which I have shown you one of the, right, here, which you see here, you see this visualization, this is talking about that. But who is responsible for that? This VDM data visualization part. That's what I'm trying to show you here. Okay, so it has few layers. What that layer is this. Okay, so one layer we call it as a, okay, something we call it as a consumption layer. Okay, so let me make it little light. Okay, this is called consumption layer. Okay. Consumption view layer, I can also say. Okay, now why view layer? Because it contains your, again, a consumption view. What is consumption view? The view which you are actually going to expose. That is your consumption view. Consumption view. All when you go, right, when you go deep dive into S4 HANA development, like you guys, whenever you get chance, you will be saying such things, just for making you clear. Now consumption view, then after that you have something called reuse view. Okay, if you remember, this is a reuse view layer, and then we have similar way, we have something called there are different layers available here. In the this is the one which basically, see, this is the one which going to interact, but this is the one consumption view which is going to exposed. Basically, if I say, means this is the one name indicate, right, you are going to consume it. But in the behind you have something which is called reuse view. Reuse view is the one which you have, it has a lot of other views available, right? It has something called interface, basic interface views. Then it has something, another one which is called as a composite views, composite interface views. Okay. Okay, now next again it has, I think, two more view which is called something similar to that, but in the form of restricted. Okay, composite restricted. Restricted views. Also something called reuse views. And then it has another one called basic. Okay, basic restricted reuse view. Okay, this is something it's called this kind of views. Okay, so this don't worry, these all are connected. These all are connected. They are like something. I'm just separating because on, see, this database on top of, you have VDM layer, VDM having their own layer, right? So this is the layer which is going to expose. This is the middle layer which contains all these views which going to be exposed. Okay, now before that also there is one more layer. So we have three layers. Okay, so one more layer will be something which is going to interact with your database. Okay, so database itself can act as a layer. Let me make it some coloring here. So I will say this whole part as your database itself. So as for HANA database. Okay, now see, whatever the you see these different views, right? These all are your programming model. Okay, you define this restrict, what is the basic interface view, how you can define it, all these things that will become of your programming, your configuration activity, your development activity. But this is how it's going to be interacted to with each other. So on the top of S4HANA, what we have is S4HANA VDM layer. Okay, this VDM layer, which generally this is the one place which is going to interact with database. And this reuse view basically it's going to be exposed all the data views what it needs to be part of your data modeling, which will make use or make it available to consume via consumption view. Okay, so this is the how VDM layer works here, and this VDM layer actually expose that content as a SAP Fiori app content. So what you understood from this part is that whenever a request comes here, it doesn't go directly to your S4HANA. No, it doesn't go. What it goes to your VDM modeling. Okay, VDM component, or you can say VDM layer, right? VDM layer is the one which actually going to bring you back the visualization of data the way it has to be interacted, and whatever component you have seen is all about your how you define your basic interface views, composite interface views, composite restricted reuse views, or basic restricted reuse views. So these are the different views. Now in the technically you can deep dive and find out how you can define these all are programming models part. But once you define all these part in your reuse view layer, then your consumption view will be able to consume it and expose as a SAP Fiori app content, and then the auditor service will be response back the visualization what you actually see here. Okay, so when a user is interacting with, so in the background, this is actually executing. Actually, this is executing. Okay, so not that HANA, but with the HANA on top of it, BDM is the responsible. Like similar way, remember in FactSet, INA search was responsible, right? INA search was responsible, basically that protocol, the search connectors to bring back those drilled on information. Similar way in analytical smart business application or analytical app, BDM of the power of S4 HANA is actually working on behalf of direct, S4 HANA database. Is basically VDM is working and providing you that data visualization. That's why name also mention visual data modeling. Okay, and then it return back the content back to your Fiori apps. All right, so okay, so these are the things, of course, the same what I had talked about right now. In the word wise, we have this information available. This we just talk about your VDM data content, all this requested. A smart business ads, we have, we have already covered kind of some information what is mean to be a smart business app, right? To see most important KPI in real time, remember, because you have to take some decision, right? Mostly it's helpful in the form of real-time information to be being on top of your business. So it's a very high-level type of application which is used by uh, maybe top management kind of things. Okay, and like that. Okay, so again, HANA Live is one of the tool in modeling of KPI. When you are going to interact with S4 HANA, you will see whatever I'm talking about, a BDM, these HANA search connectors, modelers, right? HANA Live. These are the actual capabilities of HANA. Okay, these are the one which give you, HANA live in the sense, see, the word itself showing live doesn't what it's means you are seeing some data in real time, every second, minute, something like that, right? So HANA Live is the one which actually helping you in modeling the KPI. KPI is the one which keeps saying you what is your condition right now, okay, of your business transaction, what is happening. Okay, so user can define the KPI and reports it. Yes, if you see of the Fiori apps here, I told you, right, these are different sections are available where user can actually select these different drop down, set the parameter how they want to define their visualization of it, like KPI. If they want to change some parameter, they want to change, all these options will be available for the user. That is the meaning of that. Like they can actually define some KPI modeling. They can select based on what business object they want to see the define, whatever the KPI reports they can fetch it, right? Based on what parameter they want to do the calculation. If you see here, these are the calculation, right? What is skip rate, rejection rate, right? So these are based on some calculation, right? So those information, the setting a user can set and apply those calculation. They are not doing calculation, basically setting the data, and based on that calculation is getting time. That's why it's a very real time adjustment. Okay, that's why it's a smart enough, like a user can play around with the application, set the data configuration here and there, filter parameter, the data visualization, and then they can take that action. Okay, so again, it's drilled on views of detail analysis. Yes, this is the meaning of drilled on views. You see, these are the views, right? So these are the different views are available, which is going to be exposed by basically VDM data modeling to the Fiori app content modeler. Okay, so these data models are stored as views in HANA database. Yes, that's what we on top of your HANA database, VDM stored as a views, right? And it creates a visual data model that is actually customer and partner to us. Matlab means what? Whatever VDM is actually exposing you, this is the exposing you, and this is what it is going to display on the top of SAP Fiori application, right? Okay, so there is something called KPI modeler tiles available, which is a standard KPI. Things are available, like it's provided by SAP itself. Like, okay, for example, I have a managed KPI authorization, right? So KPI workspace. So these application, if you see that, okay, in the inside here, what you will see that you will be having a different business object. Like it will have a application reference here. For example, I want to see what is the KPI details available for this inspection lot analysis. All right. So I can go inside this one of the managed KPI authorization. So it will give you grant and access KPI and everything. So under this KPI workspace, I can go and put back my this application information, and I can see what are the KPI available. I can modify. I can configure my KPI drill down, manage my KPI association, create the KPI. You have that capability. See, remember you have mentioned here you can create a define and KPI also. Then create evaluation. So these are different KPI provided by SAP itself, that this modeler can help you to make your smart business even more smarter as per your need. Like for me, I want to configure alone in my own way, so I will put that my own way in the sense ki based on various business objects I want to perform, right? Similar way, manage KPIs, like I have to create some new KPI. So those things we can check it out, and we can show you that part. Okay, so what is the meaning of this KPI? You understood, right? The KPI modeler is the one which actually going to give you the business insight of it, like what is happening in your particular business object and all these things. So it gives you the more insight information, and then you can take the decision of that. You can modify the structure and all this information. It's very much available, and basically it helps you to make your business application even more smarter, right? So something like that. Okay, so this is yeah, this is all about your you might see if you have your maybe because see this it may not be available, but it will be maybe available if you have any access launchpad. Probably give a try, search with the app KPI modeler. If they are using SAP business smart application, then there must be a KPI modeler tiles available, and then you can try to even go through all this information, and you can try and check what are the feature availables. Okay, all these things. So these are mostly, for example, I will show you one of the similar KPI which is available. How it's basically looks like. It looks like Fiori app only. Don't worry about that. But I mean that content of data where you can create, manage all these things, you can see that. Okay, so you see this is the inventory KPI analysis. Okay, what is happening here? So for example, in one of your SAP business application, let's say you are using inventory KPI. Okay, so you can come here inventory KPI analysis, and you can see here what are the different what are different parameter available, like currency, comparison of reference date, and based on that you get the data of your VDM, means the VDM data model which has been defined. So your VDM is actually working along with your KPI design, whatever you have. Now if you see in the left side, KPI filters, right? So those KPI filters based on this stock change, like consumption changes or inventory range of coverage changes, anything whatever you still select based on your KPI filter, your VDM will be keep displaying your data. Okay, so KPI modeler is the one place where you are actually going to define and design your VDM accordingly. Basically, that is going to be a input field, like you are defining something. You are configuring your KPI design where maybe you are changing some parameter based on your need. It may be not same for everyone, but only for you. But when you are defining a KPI for a particular business object, then it will be applicable for everyone because you have changed the KPI configuration object directly, then it will be applicable everywhere. Okay, but when you are testing from the one particular business smart application, there if you are changing, for example, inventory KPI, this is the one of the app. Here you are changing the KPI also, and respectively your data visual VDM image keep changing. Okay, so like that you can perform. You see here I have whatever you see, this is given here some other, so some definitely some parameters they have set for KPI. This is the value visualization. If they have changed the KPI information, this is the visualization. Okay, so this is why your KPI is very much important in your data modeling part. If your HANA database, which will be keep changing your data flow. You remember I told you if you click on this, this will be your chart analysis. Like if you see in the below part, this is the chart analysis. Same data can be converted back into table analysis if you click on this. So this is the data analysis. Okay, so like that. So same information what you see here, it will be keep changing. If the same information you see in the data in the chart, like KPI change, it will be different chart. If you want to see the data in table, right, you want to download the data. Reason why we convert back into table, because we want to see how the data are, so you can compare in Excel format. So you can download that, it should be in table format, right? So like that. So and then again, if you see your inventory KPI filters, right, these are the KPI stock change filter, right? See, so these are the things which is we have actually mentioned here, right? If you see in the what we are talking about, right, KPI modeler, all these things, right? So these are the place that you can do all at a time, or you can actually perform like from a particular application. If you have option to you analyze the KPI in like inventory KPI analysis, where you can apply your or make some changes or anything in your KPI. With respect to that, you will be keep changing your VDM, and your data display will be making it available for your analysis purpose. Okay, so these are the things which is comes your KPI. This is the powerful tool available in SAP Smart Business application, where we talk about those things. Okay, same thing, how you create a KPI tile. These are the, we will see that whether we have this KPI tile creation, access, and all these things, then we will talk about on that time. But yeah, so being focused on transactional application development majorly, we will be having it, because our S/4HANA analytics system, we have based on the component we can develop. But these are for your information purpose. These are how a smart business is going to look like, how you can define a SAP HANA view from the, I mean, this is the same thing which we talk about views, right? What you view, you talk about. This is how in the Fiori app it will look like. If you select your views, it will going to drill down your data. Okay, select data from the view and search the data service. So when whatever you select your data, any from the views, it will going to create this search protocol, right? And it will bring back your data, what you are going to perform. So entity set is nothing but, see, at the end, behind who is working is OData service only. So be it FactSet, be it transactional, be it a smart business application, all of them at the end, who is the key master? Your OData service. Okay, so any search protocol I am doing from either a FactSet, if I am using a VDM model of your smart business application, or right, so all of them at the end, it's going to interact with your OData entity set itself. Okay, none of them is going to directly expose. It has to go via your OData service. Okay, so like that. So these are just I mean, few detailed information about how this activate. And I mean, it's just one of the example of, I think one of the example application, a screenshot where you can go and manage your check your KPI, change the KPI, and get the data visualization accordingly. All right, so I think we are done with we are okay. One of the thing you red color you see, this is something your KPI. Okay, also, so if you keep changing the value type here, you will be input parameter and filter, right? So your threshold will be keep changing. So these are something which will be used in your KPI modeling. Okay, and then so this is one of the app where you can set your KPI, right? You can go and select your KPI value. You can keep change the threshold value. You can modify, and you can decrease this part. What are the value for critical, for acceptance, for warning? So those things you can do. So KPI modeler is meant for that. This is where this set of application you saw, right? This set of application you saw. I mean, this list you saw, right? This is what you see here. This is your monitoring of KPI modeler, which is available in your S/4HANA system. That KPI modeler you can perform. These are the activity, how you can modify the value, and based on that, it will be keep reflecting the changes in your Fiori application. Okay, so similar way in FactSet, the search protocol, search connector is important part here. The similar way in analytical application, your KPI modeler and VDM is very much important here. Okay, so like that, you see that KPI has been changed. So this is how your application value also will be keep changing the value of your whatever the application you have been built, the visualization will be on the change. You see the tile you mentioned, I remember, it's the real-time data, right? So you can configure your tile in your Analytical SAP Smart Business app, which can display you some data, not only in the form of digit, but in the form of chart also, right? This power is only available for your Analytical SAP Smart Business application. So you, even if you configure on top of tiles itself, you can visualize what is happening. You don't even go to inside, you go inside for more details. But if you can want to see just, okay, everything is green, okay, all good, what something is getting turning red, go inside, check what is the reason behind that, and take certain decision. So this is what is the powerful, a smart business application, and this is how it's going to be talked about. So I think this is all about like what we talk about today, visualization data. This is what the same thing, it's just I shown you same example we are showing here, like that. Okay, so I think we are done with the smart business app. Also, I think this is one of the steps, basically how modular smart business modular app you create. Like you, of course, API. Then these are the steps which we involved in your smart business modular apps, where you manage your KPI workspace, which we have shown you, right? List of KPI, right? Application, we manage your works KPI activity. These two comes here. Then configure drill down is nothing but your basically your your consumption view layer, how you want to do. And then based on kit API is nothing but your auditor service you want to expose as an API. That is how it's going to be done here. Okay, these are system readiness check, which will be the same as for applicable to all other Fiori apps. And these are the packages which supposed to minimum SAP ERP 6.0. That is, remember. And yeah, these are the components what you see here. This is the very important component should be there in your backend layer, which is IWBP. Okay, and then you have PGW. So these two components are very important in your backend server to be make run your Fiori apps. Okay, like that. Okay, so I think we are done with that. This component also we have already discussed in the one of the slide in transactional application. So we are good. And yeah, so I mean, again, likewise we have for backend component, like similar way we have for front end component. Like this is the component has to be available, BEP, GW underscore core, IWFND, right? These are the add-ons has to be there in your SAP NetWeaver gateway system to work with that. Okay, SAP GW core, IWFND, these are the required component to be installed in your SAP system. Otherwise it will be not be possible to run your Fiori apps here. That's the component we need to be installed. This generally this activity done by basis team, but yeah. All right, I think we are good. I mean the same thing which we already have discussed. Yep. So okay, so this GUI transaction and all that we can discuss about your Fiori. I mean how, okay, so these are the tiles you remember I talk about. We have some tiles which you can visualize some data, right? So this is the dynamic data, what you see on the tiles, right? I told you in Analytical apps, you can have some number count displaying here. You can have a chart displaying here. This is mostly use your Analytical application tile. Okay, new style also used is like some important information you want to see. So these two are like kind of something which can be rendered your real-time information in the tile itself. App static is something which is largely used in transactional and sometimes on FactSheet as well, but largely should be as a part of your static is a transactional application with just a name and some icon. That's it. So these are things we will discuss. Don't worry. These apps configuration, tile configuration, we will talk about in our hopefully not, I'm damn sure tomorrow we will be starting our development journey. So today and yesterday and today was more of your Fiori background. Today was more of your architecture flow diagram, how SAP different types of Fiori apps actually works in behind what is happening, all these details in your architecture flow diagram and how they interact with each other in backend and front end component, right? So I hope you have got some basic idea or in details, basically, because this is important to you to know when you are starting your Fiori journey, that what is happening in behind, how they are interacting with each other, being a different type of application, so that you have some idea when you are developing and working on those application, right? Now, when we coming back to our development perspective, before we start with somebody having issue with the trial account, let's bring back any question if you have in this session, transactional, fact sheet, and analytical application. If any question, we will take it up, or we can jump into our BTP trial account setup, because from tomorrow we will be having we are starting Fiori UI5 development, starting from your BTP cockpit accessibility, where we'll be going to interact with Business Application Studio, right? Before that, we will be going to establish, I will show you how you can establish data connectivity from your cloud system to S/4HANA system, how you maintain those connectivity on your cloud, and how you will make it available to consume in your Fiori apps development. All these things are stuff. And then we'll talk about your Fiori app, sorry, SAP UI5 Fiori apps we talk about. Now we'll talk about framework, right? SAP UI5, because Fiori apps is built on top of your SAP UI5. What are the SAP UI5 fundamentals? Okay, and then we will start with your development journey from tomorrow. So please make sure everyone please provide your name, email ID, and user ID whenever you create a trial account to Nitin, so that he can send this information to the respective team, and you will have all the accessibility available. Okay, I think every one of you will also have our S4 system access. I think this S4 system, I believe you all will get that also. I mean, already user has been created, and you will be communicated to probably check from your end if it's working. You need to install this I think SAP GUI, probably you already have in your TCS. Try to log in with the probably whatever we are giving, kind of configuration, and then try with that. If it any issue, then please do let us know, like to Nitin, or so that we can come back and we can check accessibility part. Okay, so before I jump to BTP trial section, anybody, any question you have on this topic today? Please, you can ask the question.
Yeah, Manu, I think today's session was a bit heavy on terminologies. So we need to, first go through the slides and do our revisiting the PPT,
Yeah.
or, revisiting the recording. Then most probably we'll come back with more, questions. And there is one unanimous request from the entire team, Manu. So since that was an introduction part, and we can go through the PPTs in that case. But during the working sessions on coding part, so the request is to just slightly slow down on the download part. Yeah.
Download part?
I mean, to slow down on the presentation of the session. I mean, people basically, on certain concepts,
okay.
yeah, they are missing on. Yeah.
Don't worry. That is fine. I mean, what we discuss is like last 2 sessions was more of theoretical. Like yesterday, we discussed about what all about
Yeah,
theory.
yeah.
We had more of on architecture, flow diagram, how actually works in behind, right? So definitely from the tomorrow onwards, we will not have much slides. We will have less slide, and you will have more practical, because we'll be starting our development journey. So yes, that is fine. But see, during any session, if any one of you feel any question to be asked anywhere, then you can definitely, you are welcome. Few slides, because few slides content generally during discussion I generally speak already. So those slides we try to avoid to repeating again, right? So that's the reason we I mean, sometimes we escape, but I cover almost all of them, don't worry. And yeah, so no worries. So development side, we will have definitely a better less slide and more theoretical part. So don't
Yeah,
worry.
because there are many terminologies, right, Manu, which we need to
Yes.
revisit and come back on those terminologies if there are any, hiccups or any gaps in understanding those terminologies during our working sessions. So maybe these were the introduction part. So we can go through, but for the working sessions, maybe because we have to have time to practice on or to have hands on, right?
Right.
So
That is very much
yeah.
important.
Yeah, so in that meantime, people will practice also, they will read also, and they'll try to understand the terminologies, the concepts, the facts about all these types of Fiori applications which you told us today. So we need some time to understand. So the request is to just mellow down on the speed of the session. Yeah.
Don't worry. Yep. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, so if any one of you can share your screen and just show me if any one of you having a facing issue with SAP BTP trial account, please note that today if you are not providing that information, tomorrow when we are starting this, you will be blank, okay? Because you will be directly jumping to our development journey, which this setup is very much important. Your accessibility is very much important, so that parallelly also like like I mean we just discussed, like you may have to go through that and open that cockpit and see the where is the services available, what I'm doing the development, all these things. So it's good to have your handy, right? So anyone who is facing the issue, can you, any one of you, please present your screen and show me what you are doing. Yesterday I have shared you one of the good blog by SAP itself to how you can actually create a trial. It's very simple, but yeah, anyway, if you're facing issue, just show me. Anyone, can you present? Somebody was talking, right? They're having issue. They will.
Yes, Manu, I am facing the issue, but now it's done. Like I just sent the screenshot of the ID and the PID in the chat itself. Again,
Oh,
I
you.
tried. Yeah,
Okay.
it's done for me.
Good, good. So PID, you will, everyone, PID you will be finding on the top of your profile. If you click on profile, right, it will be on the icon. It will be showing.
That we
Yeah,
got it.
that
Yeah.
that is your email ID and P user, both you will be showing it. Okay, so that's it. You just provide to Nitin, and I mean, I think I saw a few of the people is was maybe new. So if you have not done this trial account activity, then please go ahead and try to do that. So I believe everyone has done that. Like Abhishek, and you told you that some issue, but other than that, everyone, I mean, out of 20 participant, all of you has done that, right? Or is it someone is pending?
Yes, Manu, I think everyone is through.
All right. So one thing I will tell you is that what I mean to say here is in the term of what I'm saying, Excel sheet. Can you, anybody from your team, rather you pinging, one by one, right? Better you can put it in the Excel sheet and try to get some hands on of it. Okay. So for example, okay, let's see how basically it's going to be look like. I will share my screen and just show you, like it's supposed to be something looks like this. Okay, so whenever you create your trial account, so you will be going to come back here. Okay, so see, this is not a trial account, but this is something which is already configured for me. So how you will be going to get when you configure it, you will be redirecting to your trial account. So in your trial account, do not do anything. Okay, so once everyone, whenever like Nitin confirms what is your next step, what you have to do. Okay, you will be going to give you this one of the URL you will be received. Okay, one URL they will give you. Okay, I think up to something here, or then it will ask you to enter your credential. They will provide you your email ID will be your P user, or email ID will be your user ID, and then your credential, like basically the Gmail what you have given, right? That you can use either email ID or P user, and then password they will share. Once you come inside, everyone will be, you will be seeing this thing. Okay, you will be some, you may directly to here or you may direct to here. Okay, it will come here. So in this section you will just click here. Okay, So here in this scenario, you will be seeing here, these are the cockpit. I believe everyone, or maybe you will be going to get a complete access. Generally, what you see right now, it's a cockpit for administration activity. Only generally a person who has an admin. So we are not giving you admin, but we will be having a sub account viewer. Means you can still view, but you will not be able to change anything. So you will be able to see all the information whatever is available on top of it. Okay, then make sure you go here and then check, do you have the access of these two services? Okay, under subscription you should be able to do is these two, SAP Business Application Studio and SAP Build Work Zone Standard Edition. So these two you must have. Okay, so once you remember, once you come here, you go to the workspace. Once you log in, it will redirect you here. Okay, and then okay, similar again in your trial account. For those who wants to know what are the information you have maintained, you can find your email ID over here. Okay, all the information whatever you have, user ID you will always find in your landing page itself. Like whenever you log in it, right, in the same say you will be like in the trial account itself, it will show you. This is not trial, this is the corporate version, that's why it's not mentioning, but in a trial version it will show you like user ID directly on the top of it. Okay, and then you find it and share it with our Nitin. Once you come back again, just go inside and verify this. This is very important, because tomorrow if you're saying no you don't have access to this, then again it will be delay for you. Okay, so come here, verify. If any issue, if you're not able to see this, not only seeing this, click on this. Once you click on this, you should be able to see the login, the page here, which will open you to create a dev space. Okay, so here right now, which we have already created. So similar way, you should be redirecting to this here. How to create and all, I will discuss tomorrow, but you should be at least seeing you this. You should see this part. Okay, create a dev space option. You should see. If it's not showing you, then there is a roles authorization issue that you have to report to Nitin, and probably he can help you how to do the similar way. This section may you come back and click on that. You should be able to redirect to this is your Cloud Foundry, basically BTP launchpad here. Okay, so you should be able to come here. Okay, it should not if you don't have authorization, then you may face what issue, it will say you don't have authorization, or user doesn't have authorization to access this, something like that. So if you face any such issue, please highlight and immediately report, so that we can rectify immediately, and it will be, make sure it will be ready for tomorrow. Okay, like that. And then after that, one more thing. Come here under user section and verify your mail ID, right? Your mail ID should be listed here, because if your mail ID is not listed here, probably there would be some, then you may not be, or otherwise you may have a, listed here your ID, but you don't have particular, kind of accessibility, everything information available, so something like that. So come back here and just check everything whatever is available, and check all these details, everything whatever you can, make sure and try to have this accessibility handy, so that you will be having the complete access. And let's to start tomorrow with our journey with our development. Okay, so anybody having any questions on this, how you can cross verify your basically all this information?
Manu, can I share my screen for everyone, so that if people are having similar or common kind of questions, so they can relate to, and
Sure.
just to check on the trial account, although it is created for me, but the things which you have just told me. So for me, under directories and sub accounts, it comes like this.
Right, correct.
And
So
I get
click on
these.
trial. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What you were saying?
So those menus which you were getting, I am not getting on my trial cockpit.
Oh no, go inside the trial. Click on trial. Here.
This
Sub
one.
account you see, link test. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, now you can expand left side. You know, just click on this arrow mark you see left side here. Just expand that, right? Left side you see whatever the you see this left side may icon, yeah, arrow. Click on that. You see this connectivity destination. Okay, so you can do one thing. I think okay, can you click on this? I think your layout is a little bit different. That's why. Click
Yeah,
on the third
yeah.
icon on the top. This three lines is on the top. No, 3 lines on the top left side. Okay, that's it. Now you see.
Okay. Yeah.
So here under the services, you click on services.
Yeah, I was actually looking for these menus here.
Now you see here instance and subscription. You can go here, click here. Then you will be able to see those whatever the services and subscription you are assigned. I mean, you have already assigned here, right? Click on that. Okay, so here you have registered only SAP Business Application Studio, right? Similar way, if for our case, we have Business Studio plus SAP Build Work Zone. That anyway that will be automatically added by for you. You don't have to do anything, but just verify these two are available or not in this section, and then you can come back to security section here. Come back here. Yeah, go to users. And just verify your ID is mentioned here or not. Okay, your ID should be here, and then we will verify if any roles and all something is missing or not, that we can verify. So in trial account, you will be admin of your account itself, but in our account, like when we are giving you accessibility, you don't have, you will, I mean, it's like a sub account which is managed by admin. You trial account, you may have the full control, everything what you can do, similar activity what when we are going to do. So it's up to you. You want to practice in your trial account or you want to practice in our whatever we are giving you accessibility, and that, but we will recommend you can do parallelly with us. But as I told you, you have more control in your trial account because you can add n number of application, n number of services you can activate, and you can explore yourself, right? Or you can, of course, during the journey when we have in our learning journey for our BTP and Fiori apps UI5 development, you can also follow the same steps. But one thing I will definitely like Vanita also was telling, like interaction, like when you are doing something, let's say I was explaining you some concept on Fiori, how to start and all this thing, right? Maybe basic configuration could be a one-time activity for every one of us. But when we are doing development of any concept, when I'm doing something, try to do that by yourself at the same time. Well and good, because you all be working in different objects in your company, that you may not get so much time, but so try to utilize this training time also to practice parallelly. Or so what I generally prefer in my working session is like I discuss one topic, I show them this is how it is done. Okay, then similar topic pay, I give them a same kind of a small task which can be list to your 5 minutes to 10 minutes of time, and will ask you, every one of you, to make it and show it to me. Okay, so that in working session it will become more interactive to that particular topic that we are discussing. Otherwise, if you say, okay, no, I will do practice after session and I will try tomorrow and maybe in the night, what will happen? You may forget, or you may have to revisit the recording and something, or you may have to again the interest again you might lost, maybe something, some work has come up, you may not find out time. So utilize this time. Especially I will recommend during development journey, because I think after this you will have less theoretical, more practical, and configuration activity, which will be again a less, but your development activity will be more, the coding part will be more. Okay, so I will be teaching you a little bit of JavaScript also on basic how you can do that, but I cannot, I mean, see, Fiori UI5 development, when a developer has to start, they have to start JavaScript. So JavaScript is something that you should learn by yourself parallelly. If you have some doubt, I may help you, but JavaScript is a separate language training, which is different thing, which I will be talking about here in this one, but may not be able to talk mostly in this scenario. Okay, So in this scenario, try to let's cooperate and let's try practice, utilize the time and try to do things. Okay. All right, then I think Nitin, anything you need to share? And everyone, please go through the material section. You will have one assessment tab. Just go through. There will be some, every action you will have some kind of assessment module is given, right? Some activity is given, right? So just go through, walk through it, and I hope you all have seen, right? This, I think this he might have shown you, right? This part, right? If you see here under material section, you might have seen, right? Assessment, lab activity, assessment module 2 activity, what you can do, lab activity you can do. It's just like some information you can just go ahead and try. Okay, like that. Got it? Okay, then see you everyone tomorrow. Let's be ready with all the required information what I have spoken. Okay.
Okay, yeah, thanks.
All
Manu.
right. See you.
Thanks,
you.
Manu.
Bye bye.
Yeah, thanks, Manu.
Thank you, Manu.
If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell icon to get the latest updates.